Oh my gosh.
Hello, the world.
Hi. Hello, welcome. I hope you don't hear my ice machine running. You probably do, but you'll be all right. Live. Oh my God. Wait. Is it live?
It says it's live, but did you make it unlisted or public?
That's what I don't know.
It says it's live. Whoa.
Okay.
I don't want to hear myself. All right, it's live. It's on my subscription feed.
Okay, I was like, oh, did I make it?
4 people are watching according to my thing.
Oh, wow. It was earlier in the day. Okay. Anyway.
It is lunchtime. People will be finding this in 2 seconds.
So hello. Oh, this bitch. A Switzerland hiking trip. I'm not going with you. Sorry. Okay. It was somebody that I had.
Switzerland, and I mean, I guess I don't know your opinions on hiking, but I thought you liked Switzerland.
Oh yeah, I love Switzerland. I love to go. But see, this is because I had signed up for something a long time ago. She's been doing like hella trophy trips, but she does like super long, involved hiking. I'm like, give me a mile or two, cute little hike, a little challenge, come back. I'm not trying to hike and camp. No, thank you. And she,
I only want a day hike at most. So
climbing poles. I don't want to do that.
I need climbing poles now, but that's because I have old lady knees. So that's just for walking.
That's valid. But like, you need those with her, and I'm like, I don't do that. I just want to go to Switzerland and enjoy things.
Fair.
But what are you reading today?
Well, unless you're not reading a nonfiction, but I assumed the whole purpose of this was to read nonfiction.
Yes, I am.
So I took out from the library a nonfiction book for this.
What is it?
It is Distracted: Why Students Can't Focus and What You Can Do About It by James M. Lang. So, because I've been trying to find books for some teaching strategies and stuff. I mean, specifically, and actually anyone in the chat who may or may not have delved down the rabbit hole of education nonfiction. Specifically, I get a lot of questions from students about study habits. And I have always I don't have recommendations. So I feel like I also need to learn about study habits that are effective for many different people. Because for me, it's kind of just like, well, I ask questions until it makes sense. But that obviously does not work for this person.
Hi, Robin.
Robin.
Yeah, I don't know if my study habits were ever actually good. But I know there's people, study tubers, and they have their stuff all organized pretty, and I mean that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good habit, but
I mean honestly the first step and the step that most students actually fail to start with is coming to class and coming to class on time. Like always the students who are asking me this are the people who don't show up on time or don't show up, and I'm like, well,
wow,
that's your first
you skipped over a very important part. Here's what you could do.
But I do have students who are on the spectrum or ADHD or some combination of neurodivergence. So they are actually putting in the work and are still struggling. So trying to figure out, trying to do research into what are actually thought of effective study habits. So not just make flashcards, because I don't actually know if that works that well. I know recall works a lot, which is why, much to my students' chagrins, I always give them short, low stakes quizzes because they're forced to then interact with it and think about it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Engaging with something is how you study it, and also making yourself care about it. But I don't know how to that's not a one size fit all situation.
No. And it's also just a little bit different because I know my thing is repetition and writing. So even through college, I always hand wrote my notes because if I was typing, I was not somehow absorbing it or handwriting it, highlighting it. And then when I was writing it, I went back through it and I'm writing.
That's actually I'm curious if the data will change in another decade or so, but as of right now, at least for people in our generation, it has been shown that learning retention is better when you are handwriting versus typing. Now, granted, I don't know if that's going to work for Alpha or Gen Z because they don't write as much. Like that's, and I don't know if it's just the act of writing or if it's just that like when we were learning young, that's how we were learning. You know? Like I don't actually know why that is.
Yeah, because like for terminology, I was a big flashcard person because I could just, and it was just like an easier way to quiz myself. So I was a big flashcard person for like when I took like anatomy and physiology or anything that had a lot of terms. Is that a gnat? How dare you? Get out of my black ass home. Sorry.
Now we got a couple of those we've been having to kill.
I'm just, so I don't even have any fruit out. Well, I have my produce, but it's freshly purchased. I just wash it, whatever. My book is over yonder. But I'm reading Evicted. No, just kidding. No, I'm not. I'm reading Poverty. I was thinking of the other book by that author. Have you read Evicted?
I've read Evicted, yes. I read and was impressed by Evicted.
Yes. I don't remember because it's been a few years now. I remember how long he was. I know he was doing that for a while, like living with people, living in the community. But I was just like, wow, that was dedication.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It was explaining things to someone. I also wrote and read things a lot. Took a lot of time, but it helped. I know a lot of my professors would say like, if you can explain it to somebody, then you understand it.
No, and that's a big thing, and that's why I always try to. That's the thing. It's like people want a lot of solo study habits, but a lot of solo study habits are not as good as forming a study group and everyone explaining things to each other and asking questions till they work it out. You know. Yeah. Like everyone's, a lot of it is like insecurity. Everyone forgets that like you're taking a class because you don't know the material. Like I'm not actually expecting you to know where all the 4 chambers of the heart are right now. Like I'm supposed to tell you that.
Some professors do think like that. They're like, what do you mean? And you're like, but you didn't teach me that. So I don't say no. Especially math and sciences to me were much better study group. Things like when I had like history or when I was taking Spanish and stuff, I don't know. Even though we had group project studying, I did better by myself. But yeah, especially math, I'm like, okay, I need you to walk me through that again.
No, I mean, like, and that's the thing, like, everyone who was the top of my class for physics, we did not do that in a vacuum. We all leaned on each other hard, and some weeks, some of us failed more than others, but, like, that's how we kept afloat. So, yep. No, so, I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to read a few more nonfiction on those things to try and just always help myself be a better professor. So.
If only they could be you. I had like all of the professors I had who like actually cared about their students learning and not just, I don't know, I had some professors who were definitely more focused on like their research and like they're like, I'm doing this teaching thing, but I'm like focused on my research. I don't care about y'all. Or just some who, this one, I will always think of her because her hair, just her personality, she reminded me of Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter. But she was like the manic way, not in the divination kind of way. Like she was just so much. But her was one of the hardest classes I ever took. It was just like a 102 biology class, but she just made it so complicated, and I hated it.
Yeah, I mean, I always at least try, especially if it's like, so a 102 implies to me it's for non-science majors. So it implies it's an elective course. So the goal of an elective course for me as a teacher, okay, increase science literacy. I want this person to leave this classroom being better at determining when there are red flags in an article. So just in general, I want them to have more agency when they interact with science. And also, I want them to learn things and be curious and play. And there do have to be assessments, but I'm not going to treat them like a major student. Like they can have cheat sheets. It can be open note. Like it's not the end of the world if they know the Krebs cycle perfectly. Like,
trauma. Like when you say elective, do you mean like, well, cause like it wasn't I guess I think it was the elective difference. Like I had to take it, but I obviously wasn't. I was a Bachelor of Science major, but it was for public health, but I had to take biology. Or chemistry, and I just knew I was not going to make it.
Well, and like there's one class I teach in the fall and the spring usually, and I'm teaching it again this year, where it is like an intro class that's unfortunately meant to be a weeder class because these are a lot of people who are like, I want to become a nurse. and they haven't been to school in a long time, or maybe they haven't taken science in like however many years. Maybe they aren't a very good student yet in terms of discipline.
See if you can do this first.
And it's like, okay, if you can't get a C in this class, you cannot pass anatomy and physiology. We cannot let you pass go. Like, you know? So it's unfortunate because, you don't want to fail students, but you also try and remind them, hey, you can drop and get a W. Leave. Like, come back.
And I would take advantage of that. I did that once. Accounting? Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, let me get out of here. I think that was probably one of it did not compute. One of the worst. You can explain things to an imaginary class, like asking questions of what enzyme assists with folding. Yes.
I mean, in theory, I just find that the students that feel comfortable enough to do that don't need to study as much as the students who would never do that.
You need a good study group, a good room in the library with a whiteboard. That was my best learning.
Like, legit, one of my students kept asking me, Constance, you keep leaving the class every 20 minutes to go to the bathroom. Like, she wasn't going to the bathroom. She just, like, had anxiety and ADHD, and I don't know. She was a good student, but an odd student. So.
Okay.
I mean, all my students are fine. I don't have a student I've disliked. I had to work on the 14-year-old boys who were too smart for my class. That was a struggle. But they were very bored, but it's like, this class is not for you. That you should be in a different class.
Well, why are they in it? Is it just like they're taking a high school credit?
They were just over. I think both them and their parents did it kind of like summer camp, where everyone else is like taking a college class. I'm just like,
yes. Okay, here's my book with my Tress bookmark. Literally, I was like, am I going to run out of tabs? Because I was in the first chapter. I've been trying to be more, it's kind of hard to see, but mindful of it. But I'm just like, I want to highlight that. I want to tab that. Nigel, you're not going in there. I'll come back here.
I mean, I remember a lot of things in that book, but it was really quick because I listened to it while I mulched my yard.
It does go by fast. I like the narrator. He does good.
He has a nice voice. And while I'm angry, he's like calming while I'm angry.
What do you want to sprint for? 45 minutes? An hour? Nigel, come here.
I don't care. What do you want? Do you need me to make a decision? Is that what you want?
Yes, maybe 45. Maybe 45.
45 is fine.
I remember what's that thing called? Pomodoro.
I use Pomodoro Kitty, but you can use anything you want. There might be a Pomodoro dog, but I don't know.
They don't like the cat. They don't like the meow.
I don't care. I like the meow. You can do it.
I do like to use it.
Meow, but do they remember the old Jess Sprint days where you would just go, hello? and end
there's no good solution. You're going to be startled.
Donna, get down. Sorry, my cat's misbehaving. And she knows I can't get her right now, so she's just being a princess.
Nigel's got stuffing all over the floor from poor mutilated toys. Lay down on your bed, please. Little gremlin. Down. Down. Thank you. Down. Very cute.
Okay, I chased her off the table. Things have gone. She's so cute, but she was a menace this morning. You know how like some cats like to make biscuits in blankets? Yes. She likes to do that too, but she also likes to dig, and she'll dig with her claws, and she just goes in a blanket, even if I'm not moving my feet, and I hate it.
That's funny. You said that. Now Nigel is falling in his bed. There's no linens. It's just the bed. It's like a little faux fur memory thingy I got from college. I'm like, nothing to burrow.
Should we ask the chat before we start reading what they might be reading or doing?
No, just kidding. What are you guys reading?
Oh, what are you doing? Talking to each other.
This is just a public FaceTime. That's it. Yes.
It really isn't that different to when we started 10 minutes before we went live.
Literally. If you're reading, what are you reading? Yeah, I think I do want to have. I feel like I want to chat about this one. It makes me
as long as you remember the parts you want to talk about. If you bring up a point, I'll remember it. But if you need me to remember shit, that's better.
No, we'll have to do it soonish while it's fresh in my mind.
Because there are some things I remember, like a lot of the healthcare discussion and a lot of like subsidies that are given to middle class and rich people stuff was big in my mind.
Yeah.
A lot of like, and actually when my dad was really poor, a lot of the stuff they brought up about like getting your paycheck early and stuff, like a lot of those things like stick with me a little bit.
Yeah. So much I'm like, ooh. When even I think it was in the first or second chapter talking about poverty and then like deep poverty, I'm like, oh my God, not levels. But just the numbers, I'd have to look where it is, but just the numbers of what is considered poverty is insane. I'm like, and it was like, said economists have determined like people need $4 to live on a day. I'm like, what? How is that even possible? Nothing breaks down to $4 a day. Like nothing. Not food, not water, not.
Well, and this is why, like, so there was this podcast episode I listened to during COVID that was like, it started off, I was like, this is an outlandish idea. And then by the end of the podcast, I was like, no, actually, I'm all on board. And the idea was, especially for something like the House of Representatives, instead of doing what we do now, just doing like straight up randomized people from different places, because then you would have a House of Representatives that was just as proportionally poor and represent like the people around. Because like everyone who's in Congress is rich. Like everyone's rich. I'm willing, like almost all of them, I'm sure, are at least a millionaire.
And they all have stock and trade investments and like, and it doesn't make any sense. Nigel, what are you doing? Techno-feudalism. Oh, what killed capital? Yeah, my attention. I haven't heard of that one, but I'm intrigued. Hey, friend. Is you reading? What you doing? Hey, Kathleen.
But yeah, no, you know me. I'll chat with you whenever. Just, you know, like I said, you'll just have to take point because I read that in May back when you told me you wanted to read it in June. No offense.
Angela, stop being so on the assignment. Gosh. What's your schedule like now? Because your classes started back already?
No, I still have a few weeks. I mean, like in general, like I'll be teaching Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Okay. So, and like obviously I'll be prepping sometimes, but I guess if you wanted like a daytime meeting Wednesday or Friday, if you want an evening time, not Monday or Wednesday, because I do Zumba.
I need to find another workout class that's more affordable than Pure Barre, but I don't know what.
How much is that a month?
Okay, well, it's like if you were only doing 4 classes, which I switched down to a month, it was like still like $90 or something.
Woof. Yeah.
But if you wanted to do more than that, because originally I was going at least twice a week, the 8 classes was only like $10 or $15 cheaper than the unlimited because they gave me a military discount on the unlimited. So the unlimited though was still like $130, $150.
That's too expensive. Like you're staying like, so I can go to 3 classes a week for Zumba. And they have other classes too. I just do the Zumba classes. It's $75 a month.
Yeah, that would be more reasonable, but it was like, it's a very elitist thing. And so like at the time when I was working, I spent it because I was trying to get out of the house. I was trying to meet people that did not work. It also is like not close to me. So it was a long drive. They started construction on the highway to get there. So it got exponentially long every time I was going. I was like, so I'm spending all this time driving and it's a lot of money. I was not meeting people. It's just mostly wealthy people who are in there because I come in my old Honda and everyone's driving like an Audi, like really nice car, their big rings. And it was either like older housewives or there are a lot who go to the medical school here, but who have, I guess, you know, to get to medical school, a lot of money. They had a lot of money.
From medical school, it doesn't matter anymore.
And a lot of them were married, so maybe their husbands did a lot. But even the girl who was like taught the class I went to the most, she was like teaching that and she was like an elementary school teacher, but then her and her husband ended up buying that franchise. I'm like, what the fuck does your husband do? Because I know you ain't making shit as an elementary school teacher in Shreveport.
Someone's going to read Open Veins of Latin America. That's an incredibly good nonfiction. It's incredibly good. Like, if you ever had the question, why is South America always in deep shit? That book does a very good job answering that question.
Okay. Hey, Larkin friend. Hey, all good. Rest is resistant. That sounds like something I need to read. Sounds like it would pair well with Do Nothing, which I still think about daily. Well, we're gonna do 45 minutes for the first sprint-icle, and this book is pretty short because there's a lot of like notes in the back.
I was about to say, I think audiobook wise, it was what, like a 5-hour audiobook? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think maybe 6.
And like that's before you put on like 2 times speed or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. So there's only notes. Dang, I have way less of this left than I thought.
No, it's like way shorter than Evicted. It's like half the length.
So, okay. So this after, oh wow, it's not even 200 pages. So I'm at page 139 and there's 189 pages. Oh my God.
So you might finish it in the sprint.
Like, look how much there. I knew I would be able to finish today, but I thought I had way more. But like, this is acknowledgments and like.
No, he had to have receipts because he says some stuff that people will be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yes, and he does, and that is my problem with Amanda Montell. Okay, sorry, she just says stuff, and she don't be. I'm like, I need that. Hello,
well,
Southern California.
Is why I stopped that series.
Reading, what's
Brizinger.
that? Brizinger.
The Inheritance Cycle. So, Aragon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never read that one.
I read it and like, it was. I think Aragon and Eldest are good, and Brizinger is like, why is this so long? Why is this so long? And then the 4th book came out when I was in college, so I forgot about it, and I never liked it enough to go back and reread things, so I never did.
I didn't read those, but I did read his Sleep in a Sea of Stars, I think that's what it's called, which was way too long.
No, I saw the length of that book, and I'm like, I've read Brizinger. I know what's going to happen. I'm not reading it.
The first part, I was like, yeah, and then I was like, oh, no, we 600 pages ago.
Well, and also, like, it was a female main character, and having read his elf female main character in the Inheritance Cycle, I'm like, this isn't gonna go well. Like, it'll be fine, but it's not gonna go well. I think that's a valid reason to read a book. I've done that often.
Sometimes even if the book it's worth it for like chatting about it, getting out your feelings, the discussion.
The reason why I read Sarah J. Maas is my best friend loves Sarah J. Maas. Do I love every book I've read by that author? By far, no.
Malka Older's
I know. I'm excited. So the Mimicking of Known Successes, that's that orange book with like Jupiter in the background. That's the first book in the series. And I was excited because today I thought they were going to stop doing the audiobooks because the second book came out in February, but there was no audiobook in sight. And I was sad. But the audiobook got released today. And she actually, I think, has 3 more books coming out in it. And I've heard rumor that the 3rd book is not a novella. It's going to be more novel length. So.
Oh, or the rest. Okay.
The first 2 were novellas. But no, they're called
cover, but
I love that cover so much. It's sci-fi. Yeah, they're like Watson Holmesian mystery style. So you got like the detective and the detective's friend, and the detective is socially awkward.
Oh, okay.
But it's also like a second chance romance, and they're both women, and they live on Jupiter. Not on a moon of Jupiter. On Jupiter. Which, if you remember, is a gas planet. Spear Cuts Through Water. Spear Cuts Through Water is very good. I think it's finally getting its flowers, which makes me happy. Yeah. I've only heard bad things. So, I mean, okay, no. I've heard some people had a good time. Not enough for me to want to read it.
No. It starts out. I thought it started out fun, and I was into it. And then I was like, oh, please. The Mimicking of Known Successes, but it was
I do think it leans a lot on, like, if you watch those serialized dramas like Bones or something like that, like, you put a lot of this is this character archetype into it, especially in a novella space. So I do think it can be fair to say that maybe, but also the second novella, I feel like I know a lot more about Platy now. Like she has anxiety similar to mine, and I don't love that. It was actually a thing where I'm like, this is too accurate, stop it.
I just like the balance, a tough balance when you, especially like a mental health issue in like a character. Sometimes it's like, ooh, relatable. Then you're like, okay, we're relating too hard.
It's like,
please,
stop.
This is too loud. I can't deal. But like the anxiety in, what was the book? Which one? The second, why can't I think of her name? The romances that I read because of you.
Oh, Abby Jimenez. So yours truly.
Yes. I was like,
I was gonna say, of all the books we have read in the years we've known each other, I'm just supposed to pluck a sequel from Angela.
Hello, read my mind.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, you don't read that many sequels. I might be able to, but it'd be hard.
This is true. This is true. But so far, 3 for 3 with her. I'm just not going to taint it. I'm not going to go back to her older stuff. I'm just not. I'm going to stay here in this space.
But man, she is so good. She's so good.
She is. Nigel, there's no one at the door. Okay, now I'm waiting till 3 minutes till it's at the 30. Sorry to start.
Okay. You act like I have big plans today, and I really don't.
Hey, I don't know. I need to, I don't know. I don't feel like doing anything. That workout made me tired. Hey, Lisies. Besides finishing this, my main goal today, and I made myself a schedule in Canva because I love making things in Canva. I'm addicted. And also I needed a schedule. And on my schedule today is to clean the bathrooms. But Nigel, do we want to do that? You don't even help.
Oh, I need to clean our shower. Like I try to do that, fairly often. And it's time and I hate doing it. So
hey. I just like our main bathroom is just more work than the spare bathroom. And I just don't want to do it today.
Did I tell you this past weekend I did my home improvement? It wasn't a very sexy home improvement, but like we have the wood sills, thresholds in the doorways, and they needed to be painted, and some needed to be wood puttied and painted, and I did all of that. So I'm very proud.
Look at you. Look at you.
I got 3 bug bites because of it, because of course I'd get bug bites at noon on a Sunday. Frickin' mosquitoes. But you're muted.
Bugs are super rude. Oh, I was yelling at Nigel for a second. Not yelling, sorry. Strongly speaking. Speaking strongly. Making a schedule. Yes. I printed it and I laminated it. It's on the side of my fridge, and so I can use my little dry erase and I'm like, check for the day. And it's broken up into like exercise, work, hobby, and cleaning. And so I'm like, check. It's better than me making endless lists in my notes app that I forget about.
See, do you have an Apple phone? I can't remember. The reminders app has been my go-to now because it actually like takes things away, like when you click on it. So the notes app wasn't working for me, but now I have all these lists on the reminders app. So that's what I do.
Maybe I'll have to learn that. Maybe I'll have to learn. Okay, we're gonna start our first sprint. It's gonna be 5 minutes. Happy reading or things doing. I don't know what I just said.
That's better than the cat.
That's some people sad.
I mean, people can be wrong. Have you met the internet?
Yes, but I've been using it for Patreon Sprint, so maybe
It's fine. I'm not going to tell you how to do stuff.
Hello, a lentil ragu and reading a saffron fruit. Well, good job. Is it worth rereading Aragon?
I guess it depends on how much you liked it. I think the answer is, if you don't know the answer, it's probably not worth your time specifically.
They're long, so a reading might take a while, but they are generally entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, if you like classic fantasy tropes, they're pretty much everything in the kitchen sink. You want a jagged rider, chosen one farm boy with a disturbed relative who will be the evil antagonist for the rest of the series, and a cousin who doesn't know what he's doing. And the love interest will never get because she is so much older than him. But he's the chosen one, so he will maybe end up with her. Unclear.
Super young hero. Yeah, I had heard that.
16, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, he can write." And I'm like, okay, it's not that good.
16-year-olds write great fiction too. Started to read. Work, rude. You got 35 minutes left of your audio. Entangled Life. Yeah, I have that one on my shelf. I need to request the audio for it. I literally have 5 pages left, so I'm almost finished. Nice. But man, how was your sprint?
Oh, it's good. I mean, what's fun? Well, I don't know. What are your opinions on a nonfiction preface length? I think sometimes introductions can. I don't think an introduction should be 10% of the book sometimes, but. But it's also a short book. It's only a 300-page book, so 10% is only 30 pages. But
that still seems long.
It wasn't unengaging. What's interesting, and I guess should have been obvious, but the idea is we all bemoan distractions, right? We're all our attention spans suck. TikTok's ruining attention span. I don't know. Insert something here. But apparently, literally since the dawn of time, humanity has been stressed about our ability to pay attention to anything. Literally since the dawn of time. Since we as humans have written things down.
I think having a brain just makes you prone to some kind of distraction.
So there is this evolutionary theory for why we have the attention spans we do. And yes, technology does cause issues, and that's a little separate from distractibility and attention. But the idea is when we existed in the world, we did need to focus on tasks, but we also needed to be ready to run away if something's going to attack us. And you're also even specifically novel things. So if something's novel to you, So I guess it's kind of built in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad intro. And I've read one of his nonfictions before, so I was kind of prepared for it. And it had some fun little anecdotes. But my attention's just bad, and my cats are knocking stuff around upstairs. Yeah.
Don't you know mother's trying to focus and read?
Legitimately, it's just I'm my bedroom's right above me, and I'm what is on the floor right now? What did you knock over?
Nigel's right here, and I had to take a moment and look and make sure he was breathing, because he was exceptional. I know he's sleeping, but I'm okay, I can see your eyes. Again, I don't understand how people have human children, because I think I would just hover over them and be are you breathing?
I think part of it comes down to you're too tired to be that vigilant all the time.
Yeah, that could be.
That's what happens.
I think I'm fearing the Black Body. Is that by Sabrina Springs? Maybe that was a good one. Hello.
Nice. Killer the Flower Moon was a good book. I liked that one so much better than the movie, and I didn't like that book that much. It was a good nonfiction.
Yeah, I didn't watch the movie. I'm never going to.
Well, so I mean, it's technically nonfiction, so can you spoil it? I don't know, but the novel itself kind of treats it like journalistic true crime. So like you're kind of discovering what happens along the way in the book. So that's the intrigue. And the movie's just like, nah, screw that. You're gonna know right away who's doing shit. And they're actually the main characters because we love Robert De Niro.
I had my son sleep in his car seat beside my bed with the light on. Oh, I feel that. Look, when Nigel was a puppy, I just would be like, and I still do it sometimes. I look over, I'm like, is he breathing? If he's not snoring and he's sleeping, I'm like, are you breathing?
When I had my kittens, which is not comparable to either of these two things because kittens are stupid easy, but they would stay in the room next to us because we didn't let them have free reign of the apartment when we had our older cat, Putao. And I would always actually feel kind of happy when I started hearing them yell in the morning because I wouldn't get out of bed yet, but I'd be like, okay, they're alive. They're yelling at the door. They're doing okay.
I know. They'll survive.
Well, for a while I was really stressed because Kieran like had a virus and probably still has it because cat viruses, like I think it's just like their cat herpes or something. But like he like had it like I'd never seen before. And I'm like, I've never had a sick cat. Like I don't know what to do.
Unmasking AI. Ooh.
What's the thesis of that one?
Yes, because AI is ruining.
So here's my devil's advocate. I don't like how AI is used, but I think it's one of those things where the tool is just being used inappropriately by the humans.
Well, of course, there could be cool ways to use it, but they're like, let's use it to replace artists and writing. And it's like, no, why don't you get it to do stupid things? Or like, just, I don't know.
Why can't we use it to fix traffic signals? Why?
Oh! Amen. Chicken and waffle make sense because it's been around so long, or do people think it's weird? Is waffles and chicken? I think chicken and waffles make sense.
I think there's a texture thing with waffle that you don't have with pancake.
I don't like pancakes. But I mean, if you like pancakes,
technically, like fried chicken is already fried in a dough. So sure, adding more dough near it is not like a big deal.
But I just like, I'm a waffle girly over pancake, but it makes sense, the sweet, the savory, it works. So if you like prefer pancakes, then it would make sense to have pancakes and chicken. Sure. It doesn't sound as cute as chicken and waffles or chicken and pancakes. But wait, reading A Little Devil in America.
Ooh, oh yeah, Ryan loves that book. Ryan's read two of the essay collections. I bought him the third one recently.
Yes.
So here's the thing, though. The robots that clean your floors, those stupid Roombas or whatever. My mom bought Roombas and Scubas back when they were like stupid cool. Everyone's like, oh my God, look at these things. So the Scuba mops and the Roomba sweeps. I spent more time picking up the floor so that the Roomba could do its job than I would have.
Maybe they'll get better. I mean, it's been out for a while, but maybe they'll get better over time. Like, I feel like dishwashers were not always as efficient as now. Like, you had to do a lot of pre-cleaning, and now you don't. Like, I'm surprised how well my dishwasher cleans my dishes. But Nigel, stop it. Like, I could never have a Roomba because Nigel would just attack it all the time, like he does when I try to vacuum.
I think part of my issue is like I just let too much clutter end up on my floors, and like the cat toys alone. God.
And then don't let your curtains be too low. It could catch on your curtains. Nigel, stop that. I don't think AI will replace artists, but I hate how much AI art is being used, especially like as publishing is just cheaper and cheaper, and just people wanting to. I see this a lot in the fan fiction space, which I hate. It's just so ugly. It's so hideous to me, and so obvious most of the time. It'll probably get better.
What it's going to end up doing more so, unfortunately, is just like it's not going to get rid of art because people resonate with things that humans create. That's like the whole point of making art. But like what it's going to probably do is take away a lot of that like grunt work jobs that artists do to stay alive. Right? You know, like
because just I've seen people not paying, but using things to make art instead of maybe you commissioned an artist who doesn't even charge that much money. Like I've commissioned artists for my like YouTube logo and stuff. And you know, like I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah, well, and like I think part of the problem also is like society is still like because of the people who are stupid rich, as we talk about in that poverty book, and how much money we could be spreading around to like literally solve the problem of poverty. It's that we literally just don't choose to use our resources to allow people the dignity of living.
Nope.
So
AI has to be built in a way that's more inclusive. And AI needs to be used to be mindful of disabled folks also. I'll have to add it to my never-ending list.
Never ending.
I think
the texture thing might be part of it. Because like fried chicken is a texture experience. Like
now I want chicken and waffles. Thanks, Elise's. Is he? Yes, he is. Oh, that's rude. How dare? A 1980s Colombia period peace game. I'm tired of people when they think of the other drugs and Encanto. It's so much more than that.
No, Colombia is amazing. I got to go there last summer for my wedding, and I got to take a bunch of New Englanders there, and they were like, "Oh my God, South America!" I'm like, "Yeah, South America."
I would love to go. Have you been?
We were in the more Caribbean part, but some of my friends went to Medellin, which is very different. It's much cooler, for sure.
Have you been to Argentina?
No, it's on my list. I've always wanted to go to Buenos Aires.
I heard a horror story. I've heard this. It has happened a lot. Granted, that would not happen. I can't say never. No, Nigel has actually never gone in the house. Not like that. He's peed when he was little, but yeah, that's nightmare right there. Hey, 5 stars recommend.
Yeah, I mean, we stayed in Cartagena specifically, which is like, lovely city full of history. So great food, great people. Also, like, I mean, this just shows you, again, if someone's reading Open Veins of Latin America, their economy system, like the dollar is so strong there because we've screwed them over so much, but the dollar is so strong there. Like we went out to eat really fancy food. None of us even paid attention to the menu. Like 8 of us would eat anything we wanted. We each owned like $10 at the end of the meal. It's just, and I mean, it's sad to think about a little bit because, like, like this is not what that was.
The recent thing of like digital nomads and people who have their American job paying in USD and moving to countries in Mexico, Central and South America, and so they're like, oh look, I'm moving here. They're basically the new colonizers moving into these places with their USD and driving up prices, and I'm like, God damn it, why are we just always terrible? And obviously there's the digital nomad thing you can do in other countries too. It just varies how much you have to earn. Obviously it's going to be cheaper there than in Europe to go do.
I mean, one thing if it was done in a way, because like I think the part of it that I don't like is usually people do it in a way where like they're doing it kind of secretly, so their taxes are still going to the state they're living in or something like that. And it's like, no, the whole point of like living in a place is that if you care about a government providing you services and care about like the community around you, you should be paying into that community to help it.
And then a lot of people, of course, who've done this, and of course, so many people have gone on social media, and all of these companies are going back to putting people in offices. Or I've noticed a lot as I'm applying to jobs that it'll say remote, but it has to be in the specific state, like the company, or it's like we're not hiring in these certain states. I had one job that sent me a letter, and they're like, "Sorry, unfortunately, like you're not in a state that we're hiring." And I'm like, which is frustrating too, because I feel like I've applied to jobs that were like out of higher paying states. So the base salary just started a lot higher, which would go a lot farther for me in Louisiana. But they're like, no, sorry, you have to live in California. And I'm like, God damn it. You can underpay me though, California, and I would be thriving here.
No, that was a thing when Ryan was looking for jobs that would happen, is like some places would be hiring in Massachusetts, but not Ohio, and it was this whole thing. It depends on the country. The passport in the United States is like a really strong document. Like, yes, now you're only supposed to be in certain countries for like 6 months at most, but
or like 3. I knew a long time ago when I was in college studying abroad, I followed this girl who like she like blew up as a travel blogger, but she didn't get it. She just moved every three, like at least in Europe, I know it's with the Schengen zone countries, whatever, you have to move every three. Can't be there for more than 90 days. So she would just cross a border and move whatever. But also a lot of these countries now are offering digital nomad visas. So like you can whatever, I don't know what you have to do to prove that you have an income of a certain amount, and they'll give you a visa for you to come live there. Even if but the whole thing is you can't be working in their country, which is crazy. Like your job has to be elsewhere.
Yeah, and part of that again comes back down to like a lot of the economic and government systems that are set up are just inherently really flawed. That's my nice way of saying it, but like essentially ever since, they got rid of the colonizers, the new systems that were put in place were meant to benefit North America and Europe. And the only reason North America didn't get treated the same way is we didn't have raw materials that people thought were shiny. Like our agriculture was actually very, I think, underwhelming. We had a lot of stuff that allowed us to do industry. They legit would not let the colonies in South America have industry or even eat the food that they made.
Ugh. Well, say hi, Pookie.
So,
say hi.
But yeah. But I do recommend traveling to South America. Like, a lot of people want to travel to Europe all the time, and Europe is great. I've been there. But South America, obviously, like any place you're going when you don't belong there, like, be smart about it. Don't, just travel any which city.
Yeah. I keep seeing too many videos of people, especially out of Mexico, being like, oh, they're playing music too loud, or like there's mariachi bands or something. What?
Heck, my friend who has lived in the same suburb her whole life gets mad that people are mowing their lawn at 7 p.m. I'm like, girl, you're living in a suburb. You get suburb sound. Sometimes people come home from work and that's when they mow the lawn.
Yes. Also, it's hot outside, so
you have to do it in the morning. Like, you're part of a
early
community.
morning.
You want to be by yourself on a farm.
Yes, you literally, there's a trick. You're gonna hear something somewhere, unless again you live out, and then you're hearing wildlife or the cicadas and the crickets. Yeah. Some people are just ridiculous.
So this is a funny story. Well, he told it in a funny way, so I'm willing to say it's a funny story. So I got married in Colombia. A lot of my friends chose to kind of make a trip of it. So he went to Bogota first. Like I said, we got married in Cartagena. It's like a very quick plane ride between the two, but they're not drivable, especially because a lot of road infrastructure. Like my family would drive from Venezuela to Colombia, and what they described was really imagine a highway that really needs to be under construction, and it just hasn't been for 10 years. But regardless, he's in Bogota and he goes on a date for reasons that are beyond me. Why you're going on a date in a foreign country you're not going to stay in, fine. He goes on a date with this girl. She asks to use his cell phone to make a call. He's too trusting. His cell phone's gone. So he flew back to the United States to get a new phone. And I thought he wasn't making it to my wedding because I'm just like, sir, you've tried. I get it. But he still ended up at my wedding.
That's amazing that they made it back. But oh my God, Mexico was too colorful and spicy. Did they want gray?
You don't have to go to Mexico. First of all, there are whole resorts set up for white people in these places where they have the lamest food that exists. Truly, it's already built for you.
It's mostly white. Maybe there's some blues in there to keep we don't want too much color. Oh my gosh. We don't want that.
So to see my Venezuelan family, the cheapest way for us and the most efficient of time, we would go to the Dominican Republic and stay at a resort for 2 weeks, which is too long to stay at a resort. I don't recommend it. You go crazy. The resort's meant to be on a week cycle and things start to repeat and you're going a little insane. And the food there is so bland. And it's I'm in the Dominican Republic, which I know has great food, but they are so scared of the European people and the North American people.
Well, that's I was watching a content creator. She's originally from the Bahamas, and she was talking about just how much in their education and the way they're brought up, they're taught to cater to tourists, specifically white tourists, and just the different things and food and how that's just all tamped down. But they make it be well, this is hospitality is our thing. We've gotta make them comfortable. I'm like, hate it. Wow. Hate.
Yep.
I hate
Which
it so
is
much.
why I was so glad we got to get married in Colombia, because we got to stay at a hotel and not a resort. So it felt less like we could actually go travel, and people went on excursions and we could see the city. At one point, a thing I didn't know, when they get gas in their cars, at least in Cartagena, Colombia, you're not allowed to be in the car when they fill it up with gas. So like we were taking our wedding pictures in the old city, and then my dad throws me in a taxi cab with my in-laws and Ryan. I'm the only one who kind of speaks Spanish, but I'm like exhausted. And also this is a guy speaking Colombian Spanish, and his accent was particularly hard for me to grasp. And all of a sudden we're in a part of town. I'm like, oh, we're in the part that they don't show tourists. I mean, I'm not scared or anything. It's like, fine. But then suddenly we're at a gas station. He's having us get out of the car. And I'm like, wait, are you leaving me here in my wedding dress at this gas station? Like I had no idea what was happening.
Oh no. Oh,
it was completely fine. It was just one of those things where I was just like, what is going on?
Oh gosh.
It's too spicy.
Grow up, Louise.
Mexican food that's not spicy. You can just like, it's not. Anyways.
I don't understand.
I mean, Mexican is not my favorite Latina food because it uses peppers more than what I like, but still, I like it. Jesus, my cat's doing weird shit. He just like flipped off the couch in a.
Their own Olympics.
No, I want to go to Chile. I think I might want to go to Chile a little bit more than Argentina. I haven't decided.
Do you want to go to Patagonia?
No, I don't want to hike those. We were just talking earlier how we're not doing these long ass hikes.
I know. I know, but yeah, Chile looks beautiful. Where is my sugar entity? I just need some money to go travel, and I don't even need to be traveling fancy. I will fly in coach. I don't like it, but I will. I just need someone to give me money. Come on, share.
Rio seems fun. Although my Portuguese is so bad that when I was in Spain, I had a great time. When I was in Portugal, I was struggling. So can't imagine I'll do well in Brazil.
I meant to go to Portugal and there was a mishap, but
sorry, that was my cat. Like I don't know what he's doing.
A fit of hummus, my lord. Tell her to stay home.
Literally so basic. It's chickpeas, tahini, or peanut butter and lemon.
I would do Patagonia, but I don't want to go to Argentina or Chile. Well,
I mean, fair.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. It's like the equivalent of our latitude, but down south.
Yeah.
So.
Or Uruguay. That would be cool.
When I say our latitude, I'm much further north than Jess. So.
I just need money. Oh, it's so unfair that we're on this spinning rock that has all these cool places, and they're like, work. Fucking losers. Oh.
Well, then, yeah, and plane tickets got expensive again.
They're so absurd, especially just plane tickets within the United States piss me off. I know it's a large country, but it still infuriates me. Like, my God, so much money. And every time I go to book a plane ticket, which not often because I don't travel that often, sadly, every time it's something new. It's like, and I usually end up flying United or American. There's not a lot of Delta flights out of here, but it's just like every time there's something new, like them charging more money if you want to choose your seat and sit on the aisle or a window. Or now if you have an economy, now you have just economy, you have basic economy. So then that one doesn't come with even a carry-on bag. Like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all are already getting this much money. A carry-on or a checked bag went from like 25 to 30 or 35 sometimes. But then I was looking for, I think this is last year I went to New York for Comic-Con. I was originally looking, and it ended up being cheaper for me to drive 3.5 hours to Dallas and fly out of Dallas via Southwest than to fly from here, because the flight, a United flight, it was already going to be expensive, and then they wanted like $60 each way for a checked bag, and I needed to take a checked bag. I was like every time it's getting insane, and I'm sick.
Hey, did you hear about the story? So when we had the hurricane last week in Florida, there were people flying from Puerto Rico back to the States, and the pilot had to I think fly and land. I think it was Mexico.
I saw something about that.
So there was a flight full of people who were flying domestic, and they landed in Mexico, and no one had their passports. And for like 14 hours, they were stuck in this terminal. And for the first 7 hours, had no food or water or anything, and no information. It was wild. And like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And I guess for those outside the United States, you truly don't travel with your passport unless you're leaving the country. Like my passport is like in a box somewhere.
Like I wouldn't think to take that with me. I hope you can go soon. Yeah. Montreal in Valparaiso.
Valparaiso. Which there's a Valparaiso in Indiana. Huh? Oh, that's the capital of Chile.
Where's I was going to put travel on hold until we got our own place, but there's something about full-time work. Yes. It's just also, like, is it always practical? But you need to go somewhere. I need to go somewhere. I haven't been out of this godforsaken country in 2 years, and I feel suffocated. Last year, I was fortunate to do a lot of travel, but now I'm unemployed, so I'm at home.
I went to Toronto this summer. That was fun because Toronto's only like 5 hours from us by car.
Like I went home, but that's not a vacation when I go home. That's just stress.
Oh, it was the Bahamas, not Mexico, by the way. I was wrong.
For what?
For the people
who the Bahamas. Okay. Ooh, Prague. Yes. Do it. Oh my God, I would love to go back to Prague. Oh, I loved Prague. So I can live through you. Flights are such a scam, and they just keep nickel and diming you. And
when I did my first train ride from Boston to New York City, I was like, wow, we really should have more trains. It was so easy.
It's such a crime. Like if there was a train, even
put on the train was what I could carry.
Yes. Even if they just had a train across Texas, I would drive because I only live like 30 minutes from the line of Texas. I would drive into Texas, and they usually have a park thing, and get on a train to go whatever, like, or we go visit his family, or go to Dallas, or go to Houston. Like
and also it's not like we don't have the space for it. Like Upper New York, where it has I-90, put a train next to it. Like, what are we doing? I-90 should have a train next to it the entire way.
Tijuana? Yeah. Oh, beachfront. But the in-laws.
But it's not the same as like going on a trip, just the two of you.
Yeah. We did get to go down. We went to, it was in Texas. It was like 4th of July because his stepmom got a lake house for his dad's birthday, which was really nice. It was like on the lake and it had a pool, but it still was with my in-laws. It was in Texas in America. I need a different vacation. My mom decided she didn't want to host anyone for Christmas, so we're going to Prague this year. Yes, I approve. You see the Christmas market? Can someone bring me on their family vacation? Yes, trains, like, if we had a train system, I would take, even if it took twice as long, I would take a train over a plane any day.
Well, and like, it's just.
Yes. Oh my God. Because it's the absurdity of the length of travel around the state of Texas. Like, because I was talking to Andrew about wanting to go to this, it's called Schlitterbahn. It's like a big water park, but it's outside of, I think is it New Braunfels? So it's closer to San Antonio, which is like an 8 or 9 hour drive from here. And I'm like, oh, that's so far. Christmas markets. Oh, I know nowhere is perfect. Europe is far from perfect. They got a lot of fascism going on over there, but look at Christmas markets.
People don't realize how big Texas is. That's true.
It's massive. And we just like, I'm like, no, there's not just anything. You're 3 hours. If you live in Dallas, you're 3 hours. You could be 2 hours from Dallas. Like, it's crazy.
No, and it's been really cute with our in-laws, or my in-laws. So they're in New England, and honestly, they've really only ever traveled from like Massachusetts to Maine, and I guess now Cartagena because we made them go to Cartagena. But like they're used to New England, where every state is like really small. And we live in the Midwest. And Ohio is not as large as Texas, but it's a 4-hour by 4-hour block. But now, then they would be watching the news because they watch the news too much. They'll be like, we saw there's a tornado in Iowa. Are you guys okay? And I'm like, Iowa is so far away from us. Like, I can't express how much I don't care about the weather in Cincinnati.
Our Houston is an hour. Like, it's
someone wrote that about LA today.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I could never. Like, it's crazy and it's so upsetting that we don't have trains. And I would love to live in a train society. Do you want to do another sprint?
If you want to.
I mean, I only have 5 pages left in my book, but I can still do another sprint.
I can also just keep chatting for a bit. I don't know. My brain's like, it'll sprint if you make it sprint. It will also be like, yeah, I don't need to sprint. Like, it's very neutral.
My husband is from New Mexico, and we've done the drive from Georgia. Oh, Jesus. Oklahoma and Texas. Oh.
My friends love long car rides, and I cannot understand it. Like, this weekend, we're going to Wisconsin, which I'm excited about, but it's 8.5 hours away without traffic. And I'm like, ugh. And my friend's like, woo! And I'm like, ugh.
I hate it. When we go to his family in Texas, it's like 4.5 hours, and I'd be about to lose my mind. I'm like, get me out of the car. The longest one I've ever done was, when we moved from Charleston to Washington, but we did that over a week. We did not do it. We made it a travel thing. We're like, oh, we're having to drive, so we stopped. But I hate being in the car. Actually, the 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I've had enough. I've had enough. Yes, that's just like, oh, you live in California? It's like, everything is not LA or Southern California. And because we drove from Washington to Sacramento a couple times, and I was like, my God, that was too much. But that seems so long. New Mexico to Georgia. Whoa. Whoa. Nope. Just like another booktuber, Monet.
That's like 2 time zones in between those two.
She lives in El Paso, which is literally, I mean, I'm over here because I'm in like 30 minutes from the Texas border, and she's only, that it's ridiculous how far she is. And it sounds like, oh, she's just in Texas. No, she's basically on another planet. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is a weird state to me. I've only ever actually been on a train through it or driven through it. I've never like spent time in Providence or anything. And I lived in New England for like 8 years. It's weird that
I've only been to Providence and Newport.
Yeah. And Brown University is a weird school. Like, it's an Ivy League, so it has all this prestige. But if you get like below a C, they just don't put that grade on your transcript.
That's weird. Montana to Alaska.
Woof.
24 hours to get to the Yukon. My God. No.
I mean, what people don't notice unless they look at a map correctly, Alaska is as long as continental US. Not as tall, but as long. And then just like driving, because you got to go up through the canal. Oh yeah, and those roads are not going to be straight and easy. These are going to be.
No, thank you. He was talking about New Jersey, like that, like all these good things they've done, especially with affordable housing. I'm like, is New Jersey the place to be? I don't want to live. I know nothing about New Jersey. I've only driven through, but I just thought it was
put your own gas in your car, which is really annoying.
Yeah, they do that in Oregon too.
That's so dumb.
Which is like, it's just so weird. I had a roommate in college who was from New Jersey, and she called me panicking one day because she bought a car. And she was like, Jess, she was like panicking because she didn't know how to put gas in her car, and I had to like talk her through over the phone. Alaska's
very big.
But size in general, like when people, like I get it because
the continent of Africa is so much bigger than everyone thinks it is.
Well, maps have the way they make maps is like, yes, okay, Africa's big, but like they size it down. So you're like, well, if you turn it this way, it's still kind of not as big as.
Like literally look at the latitudes. Like
I implore you, you don't even have to do that. Put in a flight just from the top to the bottom, and you're like, oh my God. It's crazy. The map, of course they would be like, oh, Africa's not that big. But even when people talk about Americans, they've been like, why don't more Americans have passport to travel? I'm like, y'all don't understand how big America is itself and how different every state is.
No, yeah. I mean, I think, isn't continental US what, 2/3 the size of continental Europe? It's approximate.
The math, but like, you know, big countries like Germany or Paris, and it's like, okay, that's a country though, and that's like what, Texas? It's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Hey,
well,
hey.
And no, and truly, like, I mean, there are parts, like, I've traveled more so than the average person in the United States and across the United States, and I still haven't visited, like, I haven't been in the Pacific Northwest. I haven't been in the Southwest, really. I mean, I've been to Vegas. Does that really count? I don't think so. I have not been to California.
I haven't been to Southwest. Well, I've been to Vegas. I went to the Grand Canyon, and I went to Phoenix for work once. But like, I really want to go to Zion, like the other national parks. I'd love to go back also to the Grand Canyon. But I feel like I visited, I wouldn't know the percentage, a fair amount of states just because we've driven so many with that. But like, some of those were just like a one-day stop. But you know, I did something in there.
No, I'm definitely more familiar with Midwest and New England culture, and Florida. But Florida's just so weird because it's not Southern.
Florida is Florida.
It's just.
Did you see the flooding in Sarasota?
Oh, that sucks. Well, that's also rich people land, so maybe they'll actually be pissed enough to do something.
Yeah, you would think, but there's so many I saw on TikTok, and they were like talking about how they didn't live in a flood zone, so like, a lot of them do not have flood insurance. And I'm like, my lord.
I'm not even allowed to not have flood insurance, and there is no flooding near me. Like, what? How does that even work? Like, I could not get the mortgage on this house without flood insurance.
Oh, really? Because we don't live in a flood zone, and I like looked at the thing, so like it wasn't mandatory for us to purchase flood insurance, and so I didn't.
I mean, it's probably not like by state rules, but like the people who hold the mortgage for my house were like, we will not give you the mortgage unless you have home insurance that covers flooding.
Yeah. Maybe it's different. Like, obviously we have a VA loan, but when I got the quote from flood insurance the first year, and it was like, you had to pay it all up front. And I'm like, we just closed on a house. You think I have money to pay up for flood insurance? So I haven't bought it. But I was playing to my international, so we don't really travel a lot between the size, and hello and help, time off, limited, pay low. Healthcare and student loan debt, which they just put it back in for. I'm like, if y'all can keep putting these student loans in forbearance, you can forgive them. Leave them alone. I don't have no money.
Especially like, it's like, I think sometimes, especially because they're so different for mortgages and other in terms of interest rate, some people are like, well, you know, you have to pay back your loan. It's like, most people have paid back. Like, no one's lost money. Like, this is just fake money at this point.
Yes. And then there have been some private equity companies that have bought student loans from other corporate, and they paid over the amount. That's crazy. What do you mean you're buying up debt because they know, ooh, this interest? And I hate it here. Earthquake insurance.
That makes sense. Although I've been seeing a lot more flooding in Alaska recently, which sucks.
It's just like, can you prepare for anything now? The freaking climate is so jacked up. So it's like, okay, well, I have this, but then now suddenly we have this thing. And they make insurance so stupid where you can't buy insurance and cover any random thing that'll happen. Like, okay, sure, I understand you've been having a leak going on for 2 years and all your floors are rotting. But no one can expect an earthquake or a random tornado or a random flood. They're not like living on the side of like a body of water. I just think it's absurd that you have to buy all these things separately. Ooh, I hate that they do that bullshit like that, because that's the same my deductible for like wind and something. And I'm like, why? Why is that more than my regular deductible is $500? Why do you have the percentage? I hate insurance.
Sorry, for sure.
Oh, I hate it. I hate insurance, all of it.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I moved back to Ohio, and specifically Northeast Ohio, is one, I like Northeast Ohio, like objectively. And two, the houses here are all built for heat and cold. So when it gets really cold in the winter and very snowy, we have the infrastructure for that. And when we have those stupid hot summer days, we have the infrastructure for that, which was not the case in New England. Oh my God. I was dying in Boston in those summers the last few years. like having central air this summer has been life-changing. And also, you were asking, I think, either at the beginning of the stream or before we got on, it's like the only natural disaster we currently get out here are tornadoes, which we are getting more extreme storms more often. And it actually did cause an issue last week for a lot of people in the area. But like, you know, there's earthquakes everywhere else. We don't have a tectonic plate. We don't get hurricanes, you know. We have a freshwater lake. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's Lake Erie, and I love it dearly.
Never heard of it.
You've heard of it?
No,
never heard of it.
I was mad when I got here and realized that we got tornadoes. I'm like, excuse the fuck out of me.
Have you seen that? Well, you probably haven't. I know you don't go to the movies. The new Twisters movie is actually quite fun.
Oh, no. I know that people are, that dude, Glenn Powell, they're like, he's the new Chris Evans. And I'm like, I mean, I can't speak on his acting ability because I haven't seen him in anything.
Here's the thing. His face doesn't speak to it. I totally agree.
No.
I was like you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Glenn Powell's the new thing. I have now watched almost everything he's been in because I am addicted to his charisma.
Yeah, this seems like he has that, but there's something off with his mouth that bothers me. And I'm sorry, like Chris Evans, has he disappointed me? Yes, but that man is still foreign, and Glenn Powell is not that level of foreign. So sorry.
Chris Evans' Boston accent is wild to me. I always forget he has this fucked up Boston accent that no one in Boston has. Like he was in a movie recently where he got to use it, and I was like, what is this?
That's how I felt about Montana. Worse was the yellow super volcano, and I'd be dead from the explosion before you realize it was happening. Look, living in Washington at a Mount Rainier, I was
Naomi gets it.
I'm like, you know, she could never go off. She could go off, and a big earthquake could hit Los Angeles and like I-5 everything, and that could come. You know, impending doom.
I'm just saying, they get it. I actually even watched that really weird Much Ado About Nothing retelling rom-com with Sydney Sweeney in it because he was in it. I was like, oh, this is fun. It was actually the same people who did Easy A.
Chris Evans, still beautiful. Did you see that thing? Even though he's on my shit list now, but someone asked him in an interview recently, because I guess it's been a year since he got married, and they're like, how did you know your wife was the one? And he's like, you know, she really loved dogs. She really clicked with Dodger. And I was like, if that's the first fucking thing you see, like, I love my dog. Don't get me wrong. But if someone asks you how you knew I was the one, and that's all he had to say. I was like, brother, wrap it up.
Woof.
Yikes. But yeah, you know, I don't want to see the new Twisters movie because I'm very stubborn about remakes, and I'm like, I have no Twisters movie, rest in peace, Bill Paxton. I don't need to see a new one, but I also just don't go to the movies because I just don't think the majority of them are worth the time, the energy, the money to leave my home to go see a movie.
I pay for my movie pass, and it's great. And now my concessions cost a normal amount of money. It's great.
When I lived at home in Charleston, that was like me and my friends' thing to do. And even when Andrew and I first started dating, like, we would go to the movies every week. And those rewards were racking up and it made sense. And then I don't know. I mean,
it's fair. I like the experience of going, and we have a theater with the nice reclining seats. And I like the nice reclining seats.
I don't even know what the theaters like here are like, because I haven't been to the movies since 2020.
Yeah. No, I mean, we saw Twisters because my one friend, she calls Storm movies like the Midwest Gothic movie. Like, that's our there's no Midwest Gothic.
Oh my God. Shut up. That is so correct.
He leans into that in his press release. That's really funny. Dude, I have the Cinemark Movie Club. That's what I have. It's so good. It literally, like, if you just go to movies normally, it doesn't cost you more money and it pays for itself, essentially. Like, it's.
Well, I love reward program things that are actually worth it.
Yeah. Well, especially like, so I pay for it and Ryan doesn't, because Ryan doesn't go to the movies as much. So even if I build up tickets, I just use them on him.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay. Extra perks.
Ooh, extra.
Yeah. Also, I need movies to come. It's gotten so bad. I haven't been in a movie in a long time, but I need subtitles in
You
the
can get
theater.
them. They all have them.
How?
You have so there's a device you get, and in the back there's the words, and it would reflect on this. So like in front of you, you would have the closed
Okay,
caption.
no, I want it on the screen. That's absurd. I want them to put it on the screen. I know they won't, but that's what I want. A drive-in! Oh, how fun! Yeah, I would go to that.
Those
I
are
could
fun.
go to my whatever I want to.
Oh, the online fee waves is amazing. The 20% off concessions, astounding. Like, the only thing I hate is that their two-factor authentication takes like way too long to send you the code, and like changing your password is like a pain. Like, it's actually really janky, but like. And one time I couldn't get logged into my account, and I couldn't get my code, so I couldn't save my concessions and get my points because you can't retroactively add them in. But it was fun.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
It's okay.
I'm like, where is a movie theater? I know there has to be one or two here, but it just haven't been. I was looking at I was like, ooh, maybe we should go see what's it called? Gladiator 2.
That's not for a while, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know when things came out.
I think that's a holiday film. I think that's either a Thanksgiving or Christmas film.
But I was like, there was something else, and I was like, ooh, yeah, let's. And then the time passed, and I was like, you know.
Is that same in reference to the janky system? I don't know. Yeah, Gladiator 2. Yes, there is. It's coming.
Yeah.
Pedro.
I'm mainly going because there's beautiful men in it, namely Pedro and Denzel. Oh!
That's a good reason.
That's it.
I haven't
seen the first Gladiator in like a decade. I need to rewatch it. I won't. But yeah.
I don't know what my next movie will be. My last one was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Keep up with what's coming out. Like, because I just don't watch TV like on TV. So I don't see a lot of movie trailers in general to keep up with what's coming out. So like, how do you know what's coming out?
I guess I'm on Twitter too much.
Oh wow. Oh, Deadpool. I know Andrew wants to see Deadpool.
I saw it. It's actually, I think that's a fun theater movie. Yeah. Not that it couldn't be fun at home, but it's just like, that's a fun one to like react to around other people reacting. Wicked is one I want to see. Although if people in this chat don't know, Wicked is only a part 1. They've stopped telling people that, but it's only half
that's
the musical.
Rude. I have no desire to watch it. Oh, that's nice. Long legs. What are these things? Okay, on Twitter accounts. I'm rarely on the Twitters.
I think I follow some YouTubers who care about movies, and so sometimes I secondhand from that.
Wicked just does not look appealing to me, and I love the musical, but I don't want to see the movie.
I don't know. I'm all in on Jonathan Bailey, so he's season 2 of Bridgerton. He's Anthony.
Oh, no.
I know you don't have good opinions about season 2 of Bridgerton. It's okay.
I liked it, but I don't know. And then, did you watch season 3? I haven't.
He is a gentleman, Jess. He is a gentleman.
Is he? I guess. No. Did you watch You watched season 3?
Yeah, season 3 is fine.
I didn't watch it, and I love Nicola. I do love her. I just didn't. I was like, It
was fine. Like I think I was missing. Like I think they were acting their asses off, but I just for some reason it didn't translate to me as like angst. Like I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I
just heard a lot of complaints that there were too many other storylines going on as well, so they didn't feel like some people on TikTok went through and counted the actual minutes of screen time they had, and like the total is kind of sad for just those two, Penelope and Colin. Ooh, rude. I wonder, another I do not want to see. Blake Lively can't act. I mean, let me take that back. She's fine.
So here's my thing. I can't ever see the Coho movie, I don't have any interest, but also the lead director, whatever. I know you didn't know he was in anything. He's in Jane the Virgin, and I love him in Jane the Virgin, and he's like one of the love interests, and I can't, he can't be the villain, and I can't handle that in my life. But Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero is going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I was like, Justin Baldoni, am I supposed to know this man? And I did. not. I am not, man. And this 10 years ago, this would have been different. Like I used to just keep up with things. Like when you're talking about Deadpool being a good theater movie, like I have like vivid theater moments in my memory that I will never let go. Like being in the theater of what Twilight, Breaking Dawn, Part 1.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you went to them, but we went to all the Harry Potter premieres and stuff like that.
Of course I did. Of course I did. Picking up my books.
You remember for Harry Potter 3, it's when they premiered the Fanta, don't you want that commercial lives in my brain.
Man, say what you want about it, but between the Harry Potter and the Twilight movies coming out, that was an elite time in my life.
Oh, I want to still see, it's still out now, A Quiet Place Day 1. That's going to be really good.
Is that the one with
Lupita?
Okay, yeah. I don't watch horror movies because I would get bad nightmares, but that one I was like,
But I think that one might be leaving theaters soon, so I better get on that. Inside Out 2's been making numbers, been making moves.
I've heard about that. I did see that season 3 Bridgerton had a different runner. People on TikTok were like, girl, I think her name is Jess too. They're like, get it together, sister. I don't know what you're doing. And then here's my thing with Bridgerton. And I know there's books, but they're changing things from the books. I want, what's his name to be gay? I know that's not right. What's his name? Benedict. But they also kind of teased us with that.
They've changed the sexuality of one character, but it's probably not the one you care about, considering she wasn't in the show.
Yeah, I saw that because I just started. I was like trying not to see spoilers, and then I didn't care anymore. I saw that, but I'm like, you teased that in season 1. You were kind of being. I was like, ooh, are we gonna get a queer love story? No. Gotta see Wicked. The play was mesmerizing. Is Wicked. Seeing that brought me to tears. Breaking Dawn Part 2.
If you're ever looking to make really silly content,
in theaters, yes,
God. The Madam Web movie that came out this year is actually the worst thing I've ever seen.
What is Madam
I didn't watch it
Web?
in theaters though. Oh, it's, you know how like Sony keeps trying to make the Spider-Verse happen.
Yeah.
So there's a character apparently in the Spider-Verse called Madam Web, and they have Dakota Johnson playing her. It's a really
that horrendous movie. Oh, that looks
really like.
I don't think she can act either.
Bad.
I don't understand. I mean, she's a white woman, so whatever. But she can't act to me. Like I saw reluctantly against my will 50 Shades of Grey, and I was like,
there was a whole plot arc in this movie where, first of all, her mother dies in childbirth. She has never met her mother. There should be no animosity between her and her mother because her mother has never had the opportunity to screw up. But it becomes this whole thing in the movie where she's so mad at her mom, and I'm just so confused.
That is weird. Colin's actor. Okay, the actor for Colin has had too much filler. I know that we're not holding Bridgerton up to P standards because they got full acrylics and whatever. But his face just looks a little too. I can't look at him. Is it Part 2? Woo, Jesus, that was a time.
Part 1 was funnier. I think Catwoman might be a better movie. Like, I mean, Madam Web is so bad that my dreams reorganized the plot in a way that Dream Space made more sense of it. Like, I tried so hard. Also, so the ADR, right? Because all movies have it. They redid the entire script for the villain, and none of it matches his lips. And it's the weirdest accent I've ever heard. It's really bad. So, yep.
That's yeah. Cannot. So sorry. I think her best, and it wasn't acting. I think she was being herself. Was the whole thing with Ellen. That was the best thing I've ever seen her do. So
well, and like she thought she was going to be in a Marvel MCU movie because she just assumed they were all in the same place. It's like, no, you're in a Sony movie, which are 9 times out of 10 not very good.
No, they need to give it a
like
rest.
The fact that Venom's getting a 3rd movie is shocking.
What? Good grief.
Venom's kind of silly fun. Like, it's not good, but it's a fun one. Like, Madam Web's not even fun. It's just bad.
Yeah, you got at least.
Oh, I don't even his accent. He committed completely to whatever nonsense that was.
Yes, that we can give her an Emmy, a sign for that. But
so Channing Tatum, he's in the new movie Deadpool and Wolverine, and Gambit is supposed to be, I think, Cajun, and so he's using a Cajun accent, and it's I actually don't even know if it's authentic or not. I have no idea. It is not. You cannot understand it.
Well, that could be close to a Cajun accent. I don't know.
It could be accurate. I have no idea. Apparently,
because I think
Channing Tatum's from Alabama,
and I'm like, say that again.
No, the Venom movie is fun. Like, legit, it's a love story between a man and the parasitic entity that's embodying him. And it's a silly time. Like, yes. It's really not that deep. And I think it's okay that it's not that deep.
Sometimes that works.
But like, I think, what was the vampire one that came out? That one was really bad. I don't remember who it was, though.
God. Which one? Recently?
No, like 2 years ago. I don't know. It's the same verse as Venom and Madam Web. I just don't remember who it was. Ryan, what's the bad movie in the Spider-Verse with the vampire character? Morbius. There it is.
Oh. I didn't hear a great thing about that.
There's only one good superhero vampire series, and that is Blade. So.
Don't show the people your stuff, Nigel.
I told you, Venom movies are a gay love story between a man and a symbiote who may or may not have a gender. We're unclear. But...
Hey, Vicky. The one with Jared Leto. Oh God.
Oh yeah, the Doctor Doom thing right now is just such a. I mean,
is that the thing with what's his name? Iron Man? No,
yes.
It's something different.
Yes, you're right.
Oh.
We'll see if they stick to it. We'll see how they execute it. It's going to be very different from the comics, and Doctor Doom is beloved in the comics. So, yeah. And also it feels like a cash grab. It feels like they're floundering and they're just trying to do something. And I've heard a lot of takes where like it would be way cooler if they just revealed that in the film and not revealed it beforehand, and then it'd be exciting. But also the whole point of Doctor Doom is he doesn't remove his mask. Like that's like the whole point.
Oh. Did you read the comics?
No, I am just chronically online. So
same, just in different spaces. That's valid.
The only things that I care about a lot for comic accuracy are Superman. So
I think Marvel has been selling after Endgame, and they, with like the launch of Disney Plus and all of the TV shows, I think they just done too much too quickly. They should have like pumped their brakes and really sat down and plotted out stuff, but they were like, let's do this and this and this and this and this and this. And it's
there were some things that worked well, like Wanda and Vision. That show was really that show caught people's attention. As much as people don't like She-Hulk, it's actually one of their better produced TV shows. Like it has TV show pacing. Like
I love Tatiana, but the fourth wall breaking, I don't know, something about She-Hulk didn't work for me. But
the problem is that's She-Hulk's thing. Everyone says that's Deadpool's thing, and like Deadpool does do it, but She-Hulk did it first. Again, in terms of the comics.
Yes. Yeah, Miles Morales. I liked Wanda. I didn't love WandaVision as much as some people, but I did really like it. I know it's unpopular. I liked Falcon Winter something Soldier Boy. I like that. I had fun.
That was so poorly paced, Jess. It was not a bad show, but it was such a long show. Yeah. I've never felt like I was watching something for longer in my life.
What's that Arrow guy?
Oh, Hawkeye. That show was also poorly paced, and I love Hawkeye.
I had fun with that too, and I also did my looking at Haley Steinfeld.
Where's your focus? You have so much of it.
That was a long time. Well, that was like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't
it was like 2 Christmases ago.
But also, were they coming out once per week?
That one was, yeah. I think all of them.
And so that made it easier to like sit down and like watch one episode a week. But like, I think if it was like me trying to sit through it already on a struggle.
Yeah, I think actually all of them were week releases. I don't think any of them were bingeable.
Yeah. Loki, that one I liked. Again,
Loki season 2 was really strong. I was surprised because we really hated Secret Wars. Like that was really bad.
I have not watched season 2.
No, yeah, the whitewashing's really bad. I have watched My Adventures with Superman. I actually just finished season 2 last night, and I'm obsessed. I was
I'm confused.
What?
The whitewashing of.
Oh, a lot of characters in Marvel are meant to be Romani, including Scarlet Witch, and a single Romani actor does not exist in the Marvel universe.
Of course. Agatha, my friend's very excited for that. There's another Superman.
Enjoyable, but the bar is I can't even finish Man of Steel. So like,
this is it. Who is it now?
Oh, it's the guy. Well, you didn't see Twisters. He's in other stuff. I don't know him that much as an actor, but he'll be good.
There's a new Superman way too often. I cannot keep up. Falcon Winter's shoulders felt so off because
there's a new Superman too often. This is our first new Superman since 2009.
Who was Superman in 2009?
We had a minute where we had Superman Returns, and we had one movie with this one dude who was in Chuck and some other shows. He was actually in the CW shows more.
Henry Cavill's Superman like 4 years ago?
Henry Cavill's been Superman since like 2010. He's been Superman for a very long time.
Okay, and then who was it before? I don't know. It just seems like there's always somebody new, but I also do not
have, like, in terms of the movie space, we've only had 3 Supermans.
Oh, I just don't. DC, I have kept the most with Marvel, obviously, but like
we
DC
can have evil Superman when I get a real Clark Kent. Until I get a real Clark Kent, we're not getting an evil Superman. Bad Witch and I, we're on the same wavelength, this chat. No, evil Superman is so boring because then people don't want to deal with the complexities that are Clark Kent and the complexities of being a man who can literally destroy everything by breathing too hard, trying to just save the day while not destroying homes. Superman is a fun hero.
Yeah. Say it, Angela. You tell right now.
But if you're going to make him evil, there is a whole Injustice series, and there are video games, and have fun. And honestly, that's what Snyder should have done if he wanted to go that route, and he didn't, and it was lame. So, Wonder Wow. I don't know what Wonder Wow is. Is that a Wonder Woman thing?
That's the first Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman is good. Yeah. Well, one day.
Yeah.
They've at least proven that she can make money as an IP, but you know. Christopher Reeve is the example. He is the example. In terms of TV show space, I do really like actually almost all of our TV show Supermans, even though Dean Cain is like an awful person, the Canadian one.
And that makes me so mad because my mama she's interesting, but she would always be like, that's a fine white man, because she loved him as Superman, and then I would watch Please Believe It or Not also, and yeah, he's terrible, but
he's a horrible person, but he was a great Clark Kent, and also the Lois Lane in that show was great. I forget her name, Desperate Housewives woman. Anyways, I can't remember her. No one likes working with her. I know she's trash to work with.
Ooh.
Oh, she was like the pinup, because she was like known for being in the Superman cape, and like I can't remember her name.
I see her face.
You know what I'm talking about? She's like, yeah, she's got a very strong neck, like jawline, very pointy. I want to watch the new Batman animated. We'll get to it. Batman is not like as beloved by me, mainly because I grew up watching the 60s like version, which is very campy, and basically none of the popularized version of Batman lean into that energy. So, but yeah, like Smallville, I really do like.
I want to start Smallville from the beginning, because I used to watch whenever that episode would come on, but I didn't ever see the whole thing. Terry Hatcher.
Yes, her. I cannot believe how strong Man of Steel could have been, because I know Henry Cavill can act, and I know Amy Adams can act, and what that movie was not acting. I don't know what it was, but it was so bad.
And Smallville.
No, the Smallville ran so it walked so CW could like do its weird Arrowverse thing. Super fun. And then actually it's ending. There's one more season of it, and I've never watched it, but I want to, because I actually really do like the guy playing Superman in the CW show. That's like Lois. It's not Lois and Clark, because that's the 90s one, but it's called Superman and Lois or something. It's a combination of their two names. I just haven't watched it yet.
Awakening. Woo!
I mean, as it should.
Understandable. What, Mimi?
Also, Amy Adams is in Smallville in season 1, and it's really weird.
Oh, really?
She's not a main character. The first season of Supergirl before they moved it to Vancouver was so good. But when they moved it, they lost one of the female leads because she wouldn't relocate from LA. And it really changed the like energy of the show.
I never watched it.
I mean, I don't think you would like these shows. Like, I'm not actually recommending.
I like Smallville.
Okay, you can try, but the CW energy is different from Smallville. It's more like Smallville season 6 and on.
I'm not watching Supergirl now. I'm just saying I hadn't heard of that one or watched it back yonder.
Oh yeah, that came out a couple years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh, Allison Mack.
Yeah. She's still really good at it, though. She's like really good at it. Yeah, like Smallville was WB CW crossover, which is why it took it literally a century to get on streaming platforms, because in streaming's heyday, back when everything was on Netflix, it should have been there. But it couldn't because of legal stuff.
One more girl, WB.
Is it Brandon Ruth? I think that's the movie I was thinking about. Because he plays I think he plays a different superhero on the CW shows but was like Superman for like one movie.
Supergirls. Let's do one more sprint so I can finish this book and feed this child, and then we could. So then I can actually call it
super long one, though.
30 minutes.
Sure.
And then I can actually call it sprints. You know.
I'm sure everyone in the chat right now cares so much. To be granted, they're probably done with me talking about Superman, but like, listen.
Wait. Okay, save.
Are you talking about which one in Smallville? Because we have Lana Lang, we got Lois Lane. Which the Lois Lane in Smallville is very good. I've been meaning to watch Legends of Tomorrow. I like stopped Arrow when they hurt Felicity too much, and I stopped the Flash when he went back in time a second time, and I was like, God damn it, I hate you. So I got frustrated. They couldn't, but they were the only modern day Superman thing that was able to get the Christopher Reeves seal of approval, like he was in episodes and stuff like that. No, it was always a big point of contention that Smallville was never about Superman. It was about Clark Kent. But it got a little weird. Like, he was working in Metropolis with Lois Lane. He was Superman.
Ooh, and I got to get my charger. This chunk of monk is about 30 pounds, give or take, depending. Not you.
Oh yeah, Brianna, especially if you're trying to watch the crossover episodes, it gets intense around season 2 or 3 of Arrow. I watched it live. Like, it came out in college, and I had my traditions of like watching like them on Thursdays. And also it was when How to Get Away with Murder was out. My Thursdays were lit.
Oh,
I was having a time.
Oh my God. What a time.
Like, I was back when we still had a Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. Like, the Thursday ABC lineup.
Oh, yes.
Unmatched.
Man, Scandal. I've never finished Scandal. I don't think I could now, but I used to be hooked.
I think about restarting it in great bouts of depression.
Because I love, what's his name? Was it Finn? Huck. Oh my God.
I just like that show is so, I mean, Shonda gets it. She knows how to make a show that you can't look away from. Like,
and I loved Olivia's dad monologues. Iconic.
He's such a good TV actor. He's in so many things. Yes! Like, he's in Smallville. He's also in Eureka. I love him in so many.
Oh my God! You watched? Did I talk to you about Eureka? I love Eureka.
Talked about Eureka. We're like the only people on the internet who remember Eureka.
Every day I have to fight not to start rewatching it, and I don't know why I'm fighting.
I don't know why you are either, but that's just you.
Oh, Henry, he's so good. The range. Oh.
The special effects will be bad, but
it's so good. And just
I think it's only like 4 seasons, right? Like, it's not that long. Also, I don't think Ryan's ever watched it. Maybe I'll make him watch it with me.
Yes. What are there, 6?
It's 5.
I know the last season was shorter because it got canceled, but they wrapped up the show. But it was the will they, won't they, is this gonna happen between Carter?
And then they almost do, but then something messes with it and you'll get angry.
And I love Joe, and I just love the show.
Yes,
Okay,
Black
yeah.
Cat Books, you were correct about what Eureka is. It was on the Sci-Fi Channel back when it was called the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes, it's the Maytag. It's so good.
It had 77 episodes. That's not too many.
Why am I denying myself this joy? I need to go back.
I don't know. I really don't know.
So good. Imagine, where are you? Oh, wait, go outside. But here's the thing. My problem is that I don't read too many things. Did I get to Bones? I got to the end of Bones season 6, I think, but I'm like, I want to start it over.
Oh, Michaela's talking about that ABC Family show. Remember that dude with no belly button? Oh, it was like Kyle something.
Kyle XY.
That one. I never watched it.
I never watched it, but I remember always seeing her. I don't know. That was out when I still got magazines because I remember the page spread being so weird because he didn't have a belly button.
They pushed that hard. Like they pushed that so hard.
Yes. I never watched that one though. Oh my God, that's so funny. I want to restart Bones. I want to rewatch Eureka. I have never gotten through the entire Expanse because I keep starting it over.
Robin.
Finish Bones? Did I say that?
No, she said she's going to restart Bones. Robin, restart.
Because I'm just so nervous to go from, not to be spoilery. I know it's been out for a really long time, but I just am too nervous.
Do you not know all the spoilers at this point? Do you know the season 10 spoiler?
No, I'm saying I wasn't going to say to people like about where they are. I'm saying like I've seen some spoilers online, but the tension, that's one of the greatest of all time. And I died my life. So I think I got to go back to the beginning to get that feeling.
I always find it hard to get past season 10 because season 10 broke me a little bit. But
dang, I didn't even make it there.
I think you know the spoiler for season 10, but I'm not going to say it. So
yes, I know it, and I'm mad about it.
You should be because it's absolute trash.
I was like, God damn it, TikTok comments. Why?
But at the end of the day, he was right. He should have been a director because I'm pretty sure he directed like Dungeons and Dragons. So he knows what's up.
Yeah. But like so goofy. But then there's some I love shows like that are just kind of quirky, whatever, not too serious. Even if they're talking about murder, like not too, but then they have those moments of just, hi, who's that?
That's Kieran Boy. No, that's Kieran.
Hello.
Donna is a tuxedo. She's a fluffy tuxedo. I don't know where she is.
9 Lives of Chloe King. Nope. I've heard of it, but I've never. Robin.
Who are the villains?
I need to go back through all of my hatred of what was her name who came in? Camille. Oh, I could stand her at the beginning. Was that her name?
Oh yeah, but Cam's great now. You like Cam now.
Yes, I know, but I'm gonna go back through those emotions and like.
It was so weird watching you hate Cam, and I'm like, Cam's pretty great, but okay. Like Cam is like has a lot of your ideals. There's never been a more
the way they introduce her. Woman. She seems like she's here, for Booth in a different way, and I'm like, nah! That's what I love. All of that, like, ugh.
But no, but like it was just funny because a lot of the themes that you thought you were losing with Bones as a character, I was like, but Cam is she's always that independent woman. She's always that girl.
She is.
The serial killers are fun.
I need to get back. I need to get back into my TV bag. The problem is I can have a good balance between watching a lot of TV and reading. I'm either reading a lot, which I am right now, or I'm watching TV. And I'm hardly reading. Like I don't find a good balance.
Good luck with that. Balance is elusive.
Yeah.
The Zap progression's pretty good. Although people are still always kind of mad about that. Mainly because the show, I think, especially for its time, does a lot of reasonable autism representation, but it still falls into a lot of harmful tropes. So, yeah.
Nigel! Okay, I also have to potty. I have to tinkle, so I'm going to start this sprint, the last one.
Okay, the second one.
But it's also a plural, the last one. Okay, bye.
I still don't like it.
I will keep that in mind for the next time we sprint.
I finished my chapter though, so go me.
Bravo, bravo. The perky intern from Bones was period girl from Superbad.
I don't remember Superbad, but I think he's talking about
Superbad. I saw it like 3 times in theaters, but that also was a lifetime ago. Redacted.
Yeah, you don't know what this is.
I will not look further into that.
Honestly, it's literally like such a vague comment. Like, it's just someone acts like a piece of shit because of things that happened in the second to last season. But you don't know who it is.
Oh, how many seasons are there? 12?
12. Only 12. And it does have an ending.
Did you like the ending?
Yeah, enough that I've rewatched Bones. I mean, I think for sure season 10 was a really big turning point. And although it still had a lot of Bones energy in season 11 and 12, those are less rewatchable for me because like they inherently just changed the dynamics of everything. I never had the issues that you think you're going to have of like, once they get together, will it still be fun? I never had that issue. Yeah, I mean, I think I've just always like Rob was talking about, the serial killers are always fun. And I always, I also think you'll be shocked at how long they did actually still drag out the will they, won't they in weird ways.
Do they change up the main cast too much?
No, there's only one, the big thing, in season 10, but like, that's huge. Like that was a glue character, Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just.
Yes. But then I also get to go back to before, what's her name? Was her name also Angela? Angela and
Hodgins?
Curly hair, yes.
Her name is Angela. Yes.
10 pages left. Bravo! I finished my book.
Hopefully you did. 5 pages for 30 minutes. Like I'm not actually here to judge people's reading speeds, just Jess.
I finished this, and then I went to go pay my water bill. And fed the Nigel.
Does your place have a separate place for water versus sewage? I have to pay 2 different bills, which is fine, except they're just in 2 different locations, and I have 2 different passwords. It's just.
Mine is water, sewer, and trash pickup is all on one, but I am stubborn because the only way to pay it online, you have to pay a $3 fee every time. And so since it's literally around the block, I take them a check every month.
So wait, you have to pay for trash? I mean, like I probably pay for trash in my city taxes, but I don't like have a bill. Like my trash pickup, yeah. Yeah, no, we don't pay for that. That's like, well, like I said, I'm sure I pay for it in my property tax or my city tax, but like I don't no, I don't know.
It's $21.20 per month because it went up from $19. It went up, and you can put less trash out, which usually is not a problem for us. But still, beforehand, you could put stuff next to the trash, pick it up. But now they've switched to where it's just a claw, so you can't do that, and it went up. But
see, we have our claw for trash, we have our claw for recycling, but then you can still put out like yard work buckets, and like the old-fashioned people will come by and just like actually pick them up and move them for yard work. And if you ever have stuff that's like, say, a box spring, you just tell the city, hey, it's my trash day, I'm putting out a box spring, and they'll bring a different truck and they'll pick it up and they'll put it in. Yeah, you got to go to the dump for that. Luckily, Andrew bought a truck, so we can do that. But beforehand, it was like, what the front door are we supposed to do? And we don't even have recycling. I'm reading engineering papers. Ooh, Godspeed, Ben. Good luck, Ben. Try not to nap. Don't fight it. Have a nap. Well, no, I mean, at this point, just for context, it's like 8 p.m. where Ben is. He should go to sleep if he gets tired.
Engineering papers at 8 p.m. Ben, I think you've done enough today. I just saw a video, and I will try not to be too gross, but it was basically a septic company on TikTok, or plumbing company, who the person called out and they're like, I don't know what's happening. And it was because their whole septic tank was full of flushable wipes that form into like a paste. And he's like, yeah, these are flushable if you only flush one at a time, if your septic is regularly like cleaned out, like all these perfect conditions that like no one has. And then his form paste. And I was like, ugh. No, it's like, get a bidet. I want a bidet.
Speaking of, it's not even a plumbing issue. And actually, let me go get one of the culprits because she is nearby. I'm here, Donna girl.
Yeah, I do not use those. I want a bidet. The problem is the bidet that I want from Costco, you have to plug it in, and I don't have a plug that's conveniently located next to my toilet, so I would need an electrician to put in a different outlet.
All right.
That's my
problem. My mom
Donna?
introduced my cats to these springs. They love these stupid little springs. And Ryan is a really magnanimous cat owner. And when they invariably knock these under the oven, the washing machine, the couch, he digs them out for them. And then one evening, Ryan goes, I don't know where the springs are. And we have, our basement drain that has a cover on it, but Kieran, I see, touches the cover. He lifts it up, and I'm like, I bet the springs are in our basement drain. I bet they're down there, which isn't like a sewer thing. It's not like sewage. It's not like our poop goes there and stuff, but it's still fun. And he's like, oh yeah, there's 3 or 4 in there. No. 15.
Whoa!
I threw them all out. This is a new spring, but
Paco, they are speed demons. Yeah, they'll embarrass you real quick.
Donna both doesn't want to be held and she wants to sleep.
That's a Nigel, if I've ever seen one.
Nigel's a cat. I've told you this many times.
Yes. Well, he's part cat, part lizard, part goat.
No dog. 0% dog.
Aren't you many things? Aw. Sure. Dog by outward appearance only.
She's so sweet. Kieran
Nigel,
is awesome.
stop.
But no, I've never used flushable wipes. And even if I did, I would throw it, well, and I guess this is another thing people don't realize when they don't live in the United States is in a lot of countries, they don't trust their sewage enough to flush toilet paper. They have garbage cans next to it. So if you're ever in another country and you see a garbage can next to it, well, first off, if you're a guy, sometimes that's for period products. But if it's in the guy's bathroom, for sure, your toilet paper goes in there. It doesn't go in their sewer.
Yeah.
So.
He's a ninja. He said, give me, especially a treat. Oh yeah, they can cross unhurt. They're basically once Game of Thrones again toward the latest seasons, and you're that should take months to travel that, and Jen traveled it in a day. That's how Frenchies are. They're still.
Ask how many sprints we've actually done.
There were multiple though. There were multiple. So, do you watch House of the Dragon?
Do I watch what?
House of the Dragon.
Yes, I've watched both seasons.
How do you feel about that show in Peyton?
I like House of the Dragon more than Game of Thrones. But I thought this season was hurt by Warner Brothers being idiots. So.
What, the second season?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be 10 episodes, and then they made it 8. And they claimed they made it 8 because it made sense, but they made it 8 before the writer's strike, and then the writer's strike happened, so they were never able to rework anything. So it just, the season feels like it's unfinished because it is.
I am not caught up on the second season. I only watched the first episode. But I'm just so annoyed because it's going to be another 2 years before the next season. Here's
the thing. At least for this show, Bridgerton, it makes no sense. Bridgerton is just dresses. I don't know what they're freaking doing over there. But for this, the dragons actually look really good. And it actually does take a lot of animation.
I know. But also, they haven't, and I know there was the writer's strike. But this is just I know this happens because actors do other things. And I know this is not logical. But this is what my brain wants to happen. If you sign on to this show, come first. Your other bullshit comes second. So we're not waiting 2 years to start fucking production. Obviously, there could be all these other things, but they don't start it till next year. That's annoying. And I know because that didn't happen with Sherlock, with Benedict Cumberbatch, because they were doing all the other things. I know.
Well, that's also different because that's a BBC thing. So BBC things are different. Doctor Who is different and BBC is different.
I'd be you're signing on as a principal in this. Everything else must work outside my schedule. Not getting paid well. I said a principal, not other people. I know that's not realistic, but it makes me mad. And it's just a general, and like obviously House of Dragon, Game of Thrones takes a lot more time than Bridgerton. Yeah, I don't get.
Well, Game of Thrones, like also they were able to have a season a year, so like it wasn't until the very end that we started getting the staggered time. But also like, they had less dragons.
So. This whole thing of TV being, or just like Stranger Things, this is absurd. Having to wait so fucking long in between seasons. It's crazy. I hate it. And that's why I want to go back and watch television that have more seasons.
I mean, there's those Fire People 911 shows. Those are still happening yearly.
Okay, I'm mad that I'm caught up on 911. In it because I tried to watch 911 Texas or Dallas or whatever it's called.
Isn't whatever there a Chicago one too? I don't know.
I don't think it's 911, but they have like Chicago Fire. Okay, since we're here,
listen, why did our generation, everyone else got medical dramas and then they got like CSI stuff and we get firemen?
Look, I loved me some CSI back in the day. I watched the Las Vegas one and Miami. I never loved New York too much. And then I watched a little bit of ER, but like Grey's Anatomy is too soap opera for me. It's not enough of the medical. I know it's still there, but anyway, I watched 911, okay? I love it. Even though it's hard because Angela Bass is a cop, but I look past it sometimes, most of the time. Caught up on all those damn seasons. So then I tried to watch the Texas one. I was already nervous because usually when they have a show, specifically in the South, the accents are terrible. Spoiler alert, they're terrible. I'm like, Rob Lowe, he's not from Texas in the show, but like the accents.
Oh, he's the one who like, did a compression on a frozen body?
Maybe. I only watched the first episode and I was done.
That's like really famous from one of those shows, but I didn't know it was, I knew it was Rob Lowe, but I didn't know.
If it is, that one's terrible. So then Chicago has Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD or Blue or something. I tried to watch Chicago Med. I got so pissed off because this one doctor ignored this woman's do not resuscitate order. And I was so mad. And I looked on IMDb and he does not get fired. He stays on the show. So I was done with that. I tried Chicago Fire. Couldn't connect. I tried Station 19 or Station 11, whatever. One in Seattle. Couldn't connect. So now I'm just, I need that kind of like background. So I've now started Criminal Minds from the beginning. Because Law and Order SVU has been.
No, Law and Order SVU is too depressing for me. I can't hang with it.
Even, and this is going to sound terrible. It's not even the cases. It's how terrible Benson and Stabler are as police officers. Like they're awful, and they should have been fired from season one. Like they're. I know everyone loves Olivia Benson, but I'm sorry, she corrupt too. She is, and she be pissed. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. You're beating up people in interrogation. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yes, but still.
Remember though, it used to be released weekly, so you would just have a show that you watched, and it was only 22 weeks of your year. It wasn't like insane,
but it felt like a lot. But even then, like shows are so much shorter, like 8 episodes. We don't get all the filler, the bonus Christmas episodes.
I know, I love a seasonal episode. Give me the Halloween episode that even if your show's not paranormal, it's slightly paranormal for a second.
Yes, there's some mystery going on. Valentine's. Give me those filler episodes. Oh my God. I told my friend I wanted to start Supernatural, and there's like 15 seasons, like 20 something episodes.
I can't get into Supernatural. Yes. I can't do it.
There's so much 911 fan fiction. It's absurd. Like I just saw a stat report of like the top couples on AO3, and 2 of the people from 911 are like in the top couples. Yes. Scenes of my life. The Rookie.
I don't like the main actor in it, but my mom likes it. What's his face? Nathan Fillion, right?
Who?
Oh gosh, I don't know. He's the guy who was the lead in Castle. He was the lead in Firefly.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen him anything to have an opinion on him, but I know who you're talking about.
I
never watched House.
Is great. I mean, okay, it's horrible, but it's great.
Chicago Fire for the first 1 to 2 seasons was first coming out, but so I watched. There's something I just couldn't connect with them, like the 118 and 911. Thursdays used to be.
You just made the sound my cat makes when he wants us to feed him.
Well, let me see the rookie. And I don't know why I want a cop show. They're just easy things to like not fully pay attention to and have on.
Yeah.
Like Brooklyn Nine up until the last season was a little.
Why don't you just restart Smallville or Bones and move on and wait for TV to fix itself? Because Disney Plus is bringing cable back. Did you hear? Disney Plus, they're going to make never-ending playlists. They're making channels, but they're not going to call them channels.
Oh my God. No, stop.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, this guy. Yeah, I don't know how I don't know if I've watched him in anything.
He's okay. Like my issue was there was a Neil Patrick Harris like YouTube musical thing, and he was in that, and like I can only see him as that insane character in that weird musical.
Casualty. Mark was just telling me about the British like murder mystery, cozy mystery show. Was it called like something? She texted it to me. I was like, I need to watch that. I also do need to continue with Matt Smith's Doctor Who, but he just doesn't hook. It's just different.
You don't have to watch that.
I know.
Have you not
but then who's after that? Capaldi?
No, wait. Pause. You watch David Tennant Doctor Who and you like it. Yes.
Like is an understatement.
Okay, then you need to just go to Disney Plus and just start from the beginning there.
I don't have Disney Plus anymore, but I can watch it. It's on HBO.
Because they have the new specials that are all David Tennant and Donna.
Oh yes.
And then it goes into the new Doctor if you want to watch it or not. That's your own problem.
I do want to watch the new Doctor. I love him.
You do not need Matt Smith or Capaldi or whoever the girl was that I didn't watch.
Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah. I did not watch her because she's a girl. I didn't watch her because the writing sucked. Different.
David Tennant is just.
You will be healed in ways you are not anticipating watching these David Tennant specials.
David and Donna.
It's David and Donna for 3 episodes.
Oh, it's just incredible. Like Matt Smith, I took a few episodes to walk to it. And I was like, kind of, but just were you sorry? I sent a lot of voice notes, so if I said this to you, I'm sorry, but I don't fully worry. I know he's just not fully my jam.
Sure.
And I know this whole overarching story with like, what's her name? Amy Pond and whatever and Time.
Did some weird stories. Like there are good episodes and it's not like a waste of your time, but season 7 is literally the most boring watching paint dry season of Doctor Who I have ever tried to consume. Like, oh my God.
Oh God, I love Downton Abbey. It took me so long to finish because I was so invested in I'm terrible with names, but I need to watch the movies. But I love Downton Abbey. I bought it on DVD so I can own it. Yeah. I tried to go back and just watch original Law and Order, but it's not on any of the streaming services I have. I'm not getting another one right now. I love them so much. I need to finish Sex Education. I'm terrible at finishing shows. Do you notice this? As finishing book series and TV shows, terrible at finishing. Yep. Yes. Midsummer Murders. That's what she told me to watch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, basically, like I've said, you should just go to Disney Plus and you just start from the earliest thing that they have there, which is Special 1. You watch Special 1, 2, 3, and then you start with the new season. And that's it. You're up to date.
Oh.
And although people still give things gripe for having less episodes in a season, Doctor Who never had a full season. It's always been like 13 episodes. So the fact that it's now just like 8 is whatever. And I still have filler energy.
I need to go back. So what is this? The 3rd movie for Downton? 2nd or 3rd?
I've only ever watched through like season 2 of Downton. I don't know. I only watched it because my friend made me once. And it was fine. But like, I'm not a World War I girly. So I don't know.
I love Downton so much. Even though I hate some of them. Thomas so much. But if you like Midsummer Murder, love Rosemary and Thyme. Okay, I need to give these things a try. I love me a good British murder mystery or murder. Like, did you ever watch Broadchurch?
No, but I wanted to because isn't David Tennant in that?
Mm-hmm. and Jodie Whittaker.
He uses his
so
Scottish
good.
accent, which always throws me. Like, and I say that it's his accent; it's not his Scottish accent. Like
so
how he
good.
talks.
It's
But
him and Olivia Colman are the two like investigators or whatever, and then also Jodie Whittaker is also in that. Also,
I didn't know Olivia Colman was in that, so now I might watch it. Did you know that there's rumors that she's dating Matt Smith?
No. That's interesting. That's I need to watch this. Anytime I see something about the show, I'm like, Jessica, we need to watch it.
I think AMC is letting Netflix get the first season soon, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh,
I think
I need to finish
because Disney Plus likes an 8-episode season, but that's just me because Disney's paying the bill. I will say that like it's a classic Doctor Who season. Like, and you're used to David Tennant Doctor Who, where like season ending, you're like, what just happened? Okay, here I am.
Yes, because I never watched Doctor Who when I was younger, and I was like, I feel like I've missed something. This was years ago when like I had stayed abroad, ended up going to London, a couple of us, and two of the people I was with were like, we need to go such and such over here to take a picture with this TARDIS. And I'm like, what? And anyway, also fellow Harry Potter fans were like, oh yeah. And I was like, I feel like I missed it as a Harry Potter person. So I didn't watch it
that much, if only because like, I mean, I was almost out of high school when it was getting really popular. I mean, I was watching it live. And I think you're older than me. You never tell me how old you are, so I can always just guess arbitrarily. But
yeah, I'm not going to tell you.
Hey, I'm more just like, if it was coming out when I was in high school, you didn't miss it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't wait to my, later years. I feel like I missed it, but I wasn't watching it live. But Endeavor, Father Brown, is that the one with Arthur Weasley? I know that's terrible. That man has a name, but that's what I know.
People
so many
get
people
their shot either in Game of Thrones or Harry Potter, and we just have to accept it.
Literally, because you watch things like, because I think Mara brought up Midsummer
only
Murders.
30 actors in Great Britain. That's it. That's all there are.
Yes, because and literally the same thing. If you watch Broadchurch, you'll be like, oh, there's Filch from Harry Potter. Oh,
Ben is listing all the shows by Naomi's mom.
I'm gonna write them down too.
But here's the thing: people's moms, they've been having to entertain themselves for years. They know what works.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Except for Ryan's mom. Ryan's mom likes a little bit too much of the Hallmark Channel for me. That's for Christmas only.
Oh yeah, I can't do that regularly.
I do it all year round. I can't.
Midsummer Murders. Rosemary and Thyme. This is related but not related. I need to get back to Great British Bake Off because I'm seasons behind, and that's something I could put on and watch.
Peak Super Whole Lock.
Huh?
So I think that's the Sherlock Holmes, but I'm not sure what the super was. But yes, Holmes, like basically Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Who were like really big at the same time. And it was a weird time because I think that was the first time in a very long time that like British television was super mainstream in the United States.
So what's the super?
I don't know what the super was, but the Who Lock I've identified.
Oh, Supernatural. Okay.
Okay. I was not a Supernatural girly, so I missed out on the super part. But it was still happening because it went on forever.
This shows me sick. I love it. They have a mystery channel? What?
Who knew? Here's what's weird sometimes about people who are older in TV, though. So we didn't have the Discovery Channel because it was no longer on our Fubo, but we have HBO, so we have all the Discovery shows. Like we could literally put on our own marathon of whatever Guy Fieri show that they like on the Food Network. But because it doesn't have commercials, they don't want to do it.
Huh?
Like I don't know if it's the commercials, but like it's just they want to watch TV, like the TV that makes them feel like they're existing with other people in real time, like
I don't like I used to like our place for Netflix ad free, and I have the HBO that's ad free, but like Hulu, I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna pay for the cheap one and have ads.
I have my mom's Hulu, and my mom has hated commercials my entire life to the point where like I grew up with TiVo. Do you remember what TiVo is?
Yeah, we never had that.
No, it was like, well, because my mom got pissed at AT&T, so she canceled our cable and got Dish back when Dish was relevant. And then it switched to DirecTV. And all of this was cheaper than cable. And the DirecTV came with the TiVo box. So I grew up with the ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. And also fast forwarding was so much better back then. I don't know how it's gotten worse, but...
No, but it actually is terrible. You're like, why is this taking so long? And then you just wanted to move a little bit, and then you skip to the end. And I'm like, why?
I mean, Peacock was doing okay with Olympics coverage, but the fast forward feature was rough.
I don't understand. We had DVR at one point. We went in and out of cable. It depended. Sometimes it was legally purchased. Sometimes it wasn't purchased. But yeah, sometimes Andrew will put on like Saturday morning cartoons or something on YouTube, but it'll play the old commercial. I'm like, and I just remember, I'm so shocked at how much I remember jingles and like, I'm like, oh my God.
You know what blew my mind until I watched, it was, I think around Thanksgiving, someone did a whole thing on the Disney Channel or something like, well, like the Disney Channel music for the drawing of the ears. And I didn't realize till then that Disney Channel never had commercials. It just had its own shit. Like it only had commercials for its own stuff, but it didn't have commercials for like toys or anything.
I didn't even realize that. Man, Disney. What a time.
I'm sorry about the Dish thing. We didn't even have it for that long.
Stevens. Oh! Okay, back
that show
in the
made
day,
me feel like I did middle school wrong.
when Disney Channel original movies were coming out was also the same time that Lifetime movies were at their peak, and I was eating, okay? We were being fed then. Quality. Now, Lifetime has gone off the rails. It's too much.
My mom only paid for... That's funny.
I love that. It's just so absurd now. Everybody, it's like, okay, we already had Netflix and then Hulu, HBO, and then I think once Disney was like, we're doing our own thing, it was truly the downfall, because then everybody was like Peacock, Paramount, AMC. I'm like, this is
Plus, so the thing is, like, Disney owns ABC, which owned Hulu already, and ESPN. So, like, all three of those were already owned by the same company, but they were just splitting it up, I think, to try and get niche markets, and then they realized that was dumb. But they still wanted to have their cake and eat it too. But now, like, Disney Plus has the Hulu library, and, like, Disney Plus has the whole, like, we're the family thing. Like, this is, like, Disney is the family watching thing. But it has shit like Poor Things on there. And I'm like, do not watch Poor Things with your family.
Anytime there's something like a random one, like there's a show on, I think it's on AMC Plus or something, called From. And I'm like, okay, I'll pay for it. Either first, I did like a free trial and I binged it and I canceled it. And then it was like, I think I got like a promo to add it on for like $1 a month to Amazon Prime or something. And then I watched it and I'm like, bam, cancel it. It's just absurd. Like every single thing. I'm like, who's paying for History Channel Plus? It's got like all of these things have their own thing, and it's crazy. And now Disney and channels. I'm weary. I'm tired.
I mean, one thing, and I'm sure it'll get broken because everything gets worse before it gets unbroken, and then it gets worse again. We just go through these cycles of abuse and capitalism. But yeah. But the thing I was always annoyed at as a kid is, you know, they had the cable tiers. So you had, you know, basic plus or whatever. And I would just want one channel. Like, we wanted BBC America because I love Doctor Who, but you couldn't get that unless you got the elite package that had HBO and all this shit we didn't use. And so it was always so annoying. And like, as a kid, I'm like, why can't I just pick and choose what I want to pay for? And now that's where I feel like we're at least at, where you can pick and choose a little bit. Like right now, if you bought all of them, it's about the price of a cable bill. But if you really only watch things on HBO or you only watch things on Hulu, then it's only like a fifth the price of a cable bill, you know? Like, now
they
it's
just
a matter
keep
of like
going up.
Yeah.
And it's not even like every year or every other year. It's like Hulu went up again. HBO, I'm like, you just went up 2 months ago. How are you going up again? And they're like, oh, but it's only by $1. But it's like, yes, but this keeps happening. And soon, just like Netflix is so expensive. If it was me, we wouldn't have Netflix. But he pays Netflix. Okay, fine. But
No, yeah, Netflix I think is the first I'd put on the chopping block.
There's still things like I watch Call the Midwife. Oh, Netflix, and I need to finish Sex Education. Those are like two top things. But like I get Hulu every year at change it at what's it, Black Friday. It's like 99 cents. I don't know if it'll be that same price this year, but I'm like, yep, thank you.
Yep. No, yeah, and like I think it's just there's more energy on our part to make sure we don't get financially screwed over. But I think I like it better than when I used to call the cable company once a year to fight for a normal price again.
Oh my God. You're like, I'm gonna cancel. Like, well, I can offer you I don't have YouTube TV. And like I do want to get Apple
energy,
TV.
but like one's easier. Also, Poor Things is a very good movie, but it just like has the most graphic, casual number of sex scenes I've ever seen in a movie in my life.
Is Poor Things the one with what's her face, the redhead? Is she a redhead?
Sometimes, but I think I know who you're talking about. Emma Stone.
Let's dance. Let's dance. What's her name?
I thought her name was Emma Stone, but I'm now unsure.
Yeah, I just don't like how she look. I don't want to watch that.
I mean, I'm not saying you would like it. It's just weird.
Yes, and they ruined that because that's.
I'll say for me, because we pay for a Fubo cable sort of thing, we can still do that.
The girl, they changed the price. I think with one of Andrew's credit cards, he gets like a $15 some kind of credit. So technically going back against paying for Netflix. I'm just.
I think right now Ryan pays for Netflix and my folks pay for HBO and Hulu. But if I ever dropped HBO, I would pay for HBO. I use that shit all the time. I love HBO.
HBO is the constant. Even though I get mad, I'm like, no, I need it.
Disney Plus and Netflix, I could take or leave.
Yeah, we could just see because we were watching it for a while, and then we realized it had been months since we even clicked on it, and so I don't have that right now. We just have, well, I guess Prime, Netflix, Hulu, HBO. But it pisses me off with Prime because The Expanse, I haven't finished it. It's still one of my favorite shows, and I was looking to try to buy it, and like it doesn't seem to exist in physical media, which pisses
That's been
me
happening
off.
a lot, yeah.
I'm like, I need to learn and go on and watch. I'm sure there's a video of somebody telling me to burn it and make it my own DVD. That just seems like a lot of work, but I'm gonna need to do that because I don't trust Amazon.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like $15 a month now for
like
at least. I don't know.
Like watch so much on it. Like it has a really good movie catalog.
Yes,
it has all the shows I like.
Because I love to put me on a Lord of the Rings, and I know people don't like. I love to put me on Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, just as good background noise. And I like, just start watching them every time.
And also now HBO comes with all the Discovery shows and stuff, so like it does really have like a really stacked catalog. Yes.
So I've been getting my reality TV on. I'm like, oh, I can watch 90 Day Fiance on here. I had Peacock for a while when I was watching Real Housewives, and then I canceled that.
Peacock was good for the Olympics.
Thing. Use it. Are you talking about House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon is on HBO, or Max, as it is called.
Which is so stupid. I'm like, I'm gonna call it HBO. Her mama named her HBO. I'm gonna call it HBO.
People allergic to brand recognition. Why? Like, I don't. Like, if I had a brand like Twitter or HBO, I wouldn't be shoving that.
Hello? So stupid.
I wish I had a brand people recognized like that. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm even like wondering if it's worth even paying for Prime because we still do order stuff from Amazon, but it's not as frequently. I wonder if it's even worth it anymore. But I don't even
like. I think Ryan and I should probably be on a joint account, but we still aren't. But like, maybe next year, because it used to be that my stepdad would give me a Prime account for like Christmas, like he did that in college for me. But now they won't even let him directly do that, so he just gives me a gift card, and it's like I could probably spend this on something else.
Golden Girls, thank you for being a friend. But it's just all these little things. It's like they're just making.
It's just like it's like
it's just absurd.
They were trying to get people like my in-laws to want to use Max, which was never going to happen even if you didn't call it HBO. You were just making
Yeah.
people like me who actually love your platform and all of its stupid animated stuff. Like, I really liked the niche back catalog that you have. And you're just trying to alienate me because you're like, HBO's too prestigious.
It's so dumb. I hate
HBO
it.
means quality. Why do you want to not associate yourself with quality, even if
Yes.
shittier content's on there? Like, I don't
Changing
understand.
Twitter to X is stupid. Or just like, and I know it was just like their
I
company
was
name
literally
or
in my
something.
book, it was referencing Twitter. And I'm like, oh, that's not real anymore.
Imagine going and being like, yeah, I'm going to alphabet.com instead of Google. It's like that. Those things are lexicon. They're a verb. Why would you try to change that? I know they didn't like officially. It's still Google, but it's so stupid.
No, yeah, it's
I have
so...
to have Cartoon Network.
I think Cartoon Network's gone.
Is
like,
it? I know I saw something about them deleting a lot of their catalog, which is insane, and that's why I've been trying to buy my favorite physical media or my favorite shows physical media, because this is just at any time they could be like, never mind.
Trying to get, because the first 3 seasons are in DVD. I see season 5. Actually, I see which season can't you get on DVD for The Expanse?
For what?
The Expanse. You
Where
said you
do
couldn't get DVD. I typed The Expanse DVD in my Amazon.
How much are they?
It's not great. Let's see.
They were stupid expensive.
They're stupid expensive, yeah, because they know you. They got you in a chokehold. It looks like the average is $22 a season.
Jesus.
But that's only for the more recent seasons. The earlier seasons, it depends.
Oh my God! This says 1 through 5, $81. My Jesus! Like this.
Actually, probably your best deal for the first 5. 81 divided by 5. Yeah, it's 16 a piece. That's your best deal versus buying them separate.
Let me see if they were if it was 5 or 6 seasons. But the last time, this has more options. The last time I looked, there were not that many. They were really expensive. So maybe it's, I don't know. But it's just annoying. And I've been looking when I go to like a used bookstore or something in the, when they have all the DVDs. Let me see how many seasons there are.
Yeah, I got Cora on DVD. No, like I remember, so back in the days when everything was just on Netflix as God intended, you just had the this actually has been existing for a while because musical girlies, we can't all afford to go to theaters, so people just bootleg the shit out of musicals.
I need
back when my stepdad used to use Netflix before Netflix was a streaming. It was back when it was only a DVD thing, which isn't even anymore. He would just get every DVD and burn a copy. It was brilliant. But I was watching Bones, and I was watching it during my studying for my qualifying exams, which is stupid stressful. And I was on season 3 or something of Bones, or season 2, and suddenly seasons 5 and up left Netflix. Seasons 1 through 4 stayed. And it didn't go to Hulu. Hulu only had the most recent season of like season 12, and I freaked the fuck out, and that's why I got the DVDs.
This is so annoying because the most they have together, so they have 5 for $81. But then where's season 6? How much is this?
I thought I saw season 6 separately. Let me see if I can find it again.
Only 2 left in stock.
I found a season 6 for $21.49.
It's gonna cost $100. Sorry.
Well, you wanted physical media.
I do.
Or you could look up a YouTube on how to save these things on your computer.
I might have to learn. I may have a new project in addition to bookbinding. I'm gonna learn how to bootleg. Hopefully it's not as costly.
Tutorial Heathers.
I don't know what that means.
Heathers, I think Heathers is it's a movie and a musical. It's a cult movie, but it's also a very popular
the movie.
Musical. Yeah. But no, but I get it wanting physical media. I've been slowly collecting now that I have this really nice TV, 4K things. So so it was funny. I wanted a 4K Pacific Rim because Pacific Rim is an amazing movie. Like, I will die on a hill that Pacific Rim, Guillermo del Toro knew exactly what he was doing. It's flawless. So I wanted a 4K version of it. I got one. I bought it off of Amazon. It's like the European version. Like it's from Ireland. Like it's in English. Like it's normal. But like when I opened it, it's like not normal packaging or anything. And I'm like, I hope it's not country code locked or anything. But it plays fine. But we don't have a 4K one in the United States for me to buy right now, apparently. And I didn't know it was Ireland. Like it just showed up. Should I have the case around here?
It's so strange.
It's a stupid weird thing. And it has like the way they do their ratings is like these little 12s. I guess it's for 12.
I don't think I've seen Pacific Rim.
It's frequent moderate violence and one use of strong language. Yeah, this is amazing. It's so good. It understands platonic love. It understands, like, I think I was pretty depressed / maybe inebriated when I was watching it last, and I just kept randomly quoting it to friends. Like, I think I quoted the entirety of Idris Elba's speech. Without context. I didn't tell them I was watching the movie, so they thought I was a little broken. Yeah.
I'm like, Pacific Rim.
Have you never seen Pacific Rim?
No, I don't think so.
First of all, that soundtrack goes hard. It goes really hard in the paint. Okay? I have written so many papers.
Not you say hard in the paint in the year of our Lord 2024.
I am super me, and me is only using phrases once they are so out of style that it's okay. I never have the confidence to use them when they are created.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw this because I didn't realize it looks like Transformers water.
It's not Transformers. Don't trash it.
Go big or go instinct. I love the first 3 Transformers.
Sure.
I don't know how many of those have been.
Yeah.
Such a great film. I need more Charlie Hunnam in films as well.
Listen, it's a film about how it's just about fighting monsters.
A war between humankind and monstrous sea creatures wages on. A former pilot and trainee are paired up to drive seemingly obsolete special weapons.
You can only pilot a mech with someone who's in brain sync with you. It's so intimate. It's so cool. And
is it like that makes me think of that book by what's that?
I've yet to read a book that captures what I love about Pacific Rim. The closest is Middle Game, but Middle Game's not quite right. But that's the closest I've got to capturing the energy I love of Pacific Rim.
I was going to say the one by that author who got robbed from the Hugos. I can't think of their name.
It was not like that. No, that's a different thing. I haven't read it, but Sharon J. Gao? I
just when you said it has to be powered, like, it's not the same thing, but it has to be powered by humans, and one's like has to be a concubine.
Yeah, I mean, that's a mech book, and this is a mech movie. It's mechs versus monsters. It's amazing. And also the director is Guillermo del Toro, so bilingual, and you can really tell, like, yes, this international story would involve more than English. And it's really subtle. Oh, it's so good. I
didn't see it.
Well, you should watch it. Because
Widow. There we go.
Yeah, Iron Widow. I guess I haven't read Iron Widow yet. I keep waiting for the sequel.
It's just more bad. I'm worried at this point we may never get it.
I think it's mostly written, right? It's just red tape at this point.
Yeah. Who doesn't love?
And like, here's the thing: Guillermo del Toro loves a kaiju movie, and again, I love when people direct quality camp because they love the camp. It wasn't trying to be something it wasn't. It's silly. It has the guy who plays Hellboy. Because that Hellboy was also originally directed by Guillermo del Toro, and he plays this like black market dealer with these gold-tipped alligator shoes. It's amazing.
Really thought
it has the guy from Torchwood. If you watched Torchwood when it was out, I don't know if you ever saw Torchwood.
I know what you're talking about, though, but
yeah.
Oh, I love that. They seem fun. I've watched some of their YouTube videos.
Did you ask when the sequel's coming out, like an annoying fanboy?
I went to go pick this up. I was like, ooh, I need some Vaseline. And I forgot this is my AirPods case. But I keep doing this to myself.
That's really funny. Nope. I've just been living off of Aquaphor and Vaseline because of my face problems these days. And what's annoying is like right now they have me on these antibiotics for like skin acne, even though like The rest of my face is fine. And in my age of my early 30s, I don't usually break out. I didn't even when I was a teen, but like I still break out on my chest and back. And this acne is making like my chest and back, like the antibiotics purge like crazy. So I'm just like a speckled thing all over my body. It doesn't hurt, but it's weird. Listen, George can do what he wants. I don't care. It's just, I think it's a disservice to his own art that he doesn't finish it, because the story is only interesting if we know how it ends, in my opinion.
At this point, I'm just looking for really good fan fiction to give me an ending.
Also, the fan fiction for Pacific Rim is probably off the charts. I haven't read it because I don't read fan fiction, but you know.
You're missing out. But you don't get attached to characters like I do, so.
Sometimes I do. But like Doctor Who, I could have probably fallen down a rabbit hole there. But I think it's mostly that I was chronically scared of the internet as a kid, and I never wanted to accidentally get a virus on my mom's computer. And so I get scared.
I never read it in my youth. I didn't know about fan fiction in my youth. And I read one like years ago, but I've only now truly found my place. And it's just so great.
It's a beautiful place for you.
It is. I'm like, wow, what would it have been like to exist in this fandom like 20 years ago when this first started, you know? I know a lot of the stories have been lost, but,
Fandoms are scary places.
They can be, I guess, but I don't know. This one's pretty great.
Oh, wow. Apparently, I was right. It's apparently off the charts.
And the mean Australian.
Oh, my God. They made it gay. Which, granted, that is there. That energy is there.
I hope people don't look up fan fiction of themselves. That'd be interesting.
I think there is a certain narcissistic quality to that. I don't know. But it's kind of like, so here's the thing. As someone who now has a thing I could look up about myself, I don't, because there's definitely a Rate My Professor profile for me now. And like, it's kind of terrifying that it exists.
Oh, I would never.
Yeah, I will never.
For yourself on guru gossip. That's not right. That's not a good thing to do.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
No, thank you.
No.
High school was my fanfic era. I'm in my fanfic bag. So the other day, because I interact with fandom on TikTok and on Reddit. And the other day, someone in like one of the subreddits was like asking people, well, there were two, asking people how long they had been in it. And then they were asking if they were too old to be in and people were like, no, the limit does not exist. There was a range of ages. I was like, that's right. You're all at home here. It was like, when does this end? This obsession? And people are like, good luck. It's been 20 years for me, and I'm still here. And I'm like, that's where I want to be. Still going strong at 20 years. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, if something gives you that much excitement and joy, you kind of hope it doesn't go away. Or if it does, you hope it gets replaced by something else. But
yeah, it's just.
I get obsessed with stories. I mean, I think the stuff I get obsessed with and why I get so excited is like, I do love Clark Kent and Superman and David Tennant and Doctor Who. Like, I love all these things. So I get excited when I get to see them. But fanfic's like different. I don't know. It is different.
I think because what the fandom that I read in, the source material does not exist. For that, like the characters exist, but the stories, the interaction between them does not. So it's just like in every timeline, in every universe. And
it was funny. I took my friend to a musical. It's actually the musical that Daniel Radcliffe won a Tony for, called Merrily We Roll Along. Which also I watched the Weird Al biopic with Daniel Radcliffe in it last weekend, and it's it's a time. But anyways, we went to see it, and like it's a story that goes backwards. So you start at the end is the beginning. And she's just like, what? I need to know if they could have gotten together or whatever. And it's like, maybe you could find some fanfic, because she was so like stressed because like none of her ships were working out.
Oh, there's some really talented. I read some fan fictions. I read more like what you think fanfic is, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I read some masterpieces that people have typed on their iPhone. Okay.
No, yeah. I mean, it's an art. I mean, speaking of Weird Al, you know, parodying things. That was such have you seen that movie? It's free.
I'm good. Weird Al's already weird. I love Daniel Radcliffe, but I don't Weird Al's I don't need to know more about him. I really
don't. Well, no, here's the thing. It's not a biopic. Everything's false.
Okay, that's even weirder.
I know.
Then what is it?
Well, so apparently, so what happened is, so VH1 tried to do a thing on Weird Al, and he just had a really normal life, like really boring. It wasn't a very exciting episode, you know. He's just an artist with supportive families, does stuff. So then I guess Weird Al did his parody thing, and he made a trailer of like a fake version of a movie in his life. And this was like 10 years ago. And then I guess recently a bunch of people, like including, who's the person who writes Abbott Elementary? What's her name?
Quinta Brunson.
Quinta Brunson's in it, playing Oprah. Of all things. Okay, Josh Groban's in it as a waiter for like one scene. Like it's just like, oh, it's A-list comedians and singers in this Weird Al fake ass biopic.
Well, can we get Quinta and Daniel Radcliffe in a rom-com, please? Thank you.
Truly. And I think he said those comments after they filmed this movie, so it's like, you know her.
Yeah. Who would you? He's like, oh, I don't know, Quinta Brunson. And I'm like, please.
We're like, what was his thing? We're height compatible.
Yes, they are. They're perf. Please do it.
Also, like, Daniel puts his entire foot into anything he's doing. Like, he's just like so in it.
He does.
The Madonna actress was wild. Madonna was the evil person because Madonna really wanted him to parody. There's a whole plot arc where Eat It was published before Beat It, but everyone thought Eat It was the parody because he was only a parody. It was so dumb.
Well, I'm glad he's in a place where he could just do weird things that he wants to do. He's like probably one of the younger actors, the most successful one.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had like a dark time with alcohol, but
yeah. Which, no, he hasn't written. I want to read Tom Felton's memoir because I know he talks about that in there and like his struggles with alcohol. So, but
no, yeah, no, it's just.
I feel like of them all, I would want to be like Emma Watson and just be. She's pretty elusive. You see her every now and then for like some.
When she wants to do a movie or something, and she has a horrible American accent and something.
You're just like, that's what I would be doing. Nothing.
Oh, we're supposed to remind people
going up for a product campaign and looking pretty.
Okay. If you're here at hour 4, you've already liked and subscribed.
Come on, do it. It's the cool thing to do.
Is it?
Angela.
If you want to watch me, I don't really care otherwise.
I have this habit now of starting a thing and I forget what I was gonna say. This made me think of Westworld, and it makes me sad because I thought the first season of Westworld was so good. I liked the second season, and then I gave up.
If they had gotten their last season, I was seeing what they were doing. Season 4 was like, it was going to be so close. That dude who bought WB without thinking, I just want to punch him in the face. Like that dude.
I don't know who it is, but I'd punch him too.
Like, he's the reason Batgirl got shelved. He's the reason why Wile E. Coyote got shelved. He's the reason why we don't have the season 5 of Westworld, which, like, to be fair, was not performing as well. And it's an expensive show. But, like, that's the thing. HBO back in the day, even if it wasn't performing that well, it would at least let a project finish its arc within a certain, you know, because it would be more important to have something that could become a cult classic one day.
Yes.
You know, like, you know, you were paying for the future. And now it's just it's sort of finished enough, but it's like it was so close to being a perfect
nearly perfect. And
that's my fan fiction of what would that season have been.
Oh, I need to look for that. I really love the intro, the music. God, it was so good.
I've noticed a lot. Have you watched Severance? Probably haven't.
No, I want to. Hello.
So Severance and Westworld, and there was another sci-fi show I was watching. Oh, it was The Three Body Problem. They all have that haunting piano intro. We just associate that atonal piano with like.
I love that.
Yes,
I need to watch The Three Body Problem because I gave up on that book. That was not for me.
I knew I was never going to read it, so I just watched the show and I moved on.
It was never for me.
It also
I want to watch Severance.
What'd you say?
That's on Apple TV.
No, Three Body Problem. Severance is on Apple TV, and season 2 starts in January. But more importantly, Jess, Shrinking, amazing show. We have wasted Harrison Ford on action movies for decades. He is built to be a comedian. Shrinking is so good.
Not your villain origin story.
No, truly, Batgirl could have been everything. I'm so angry all the time. But Shrinking's a really good show, and the season 2 is coming in October. Ted Lasso is also a delight and great to watch around Christmas. So you could get it now, and you would have a couple months of good viewing. You would, watch season 2 Severance, and you just peace out.
I have to finish the 3rd book this weekend, or maybe tomorrow. I quickly gave up on that.
I know. Listen, stop hurting me. Batgirl was my favorite character in that Batman show. Okay.
I don't understand. Like, I understand it still costs money to like finish editing productions, but I'm like, you've already filmed.
No. That's not why. It was already done. It was ready to put out. It wasn't that it cost more money. It's that they got a better tax write-off by saying they will never show it. It's a loss. Because no, it's not that it needed more work done. No, it is a complete file that no one's allowed to consume because of a tax write-off, which feels illegal.
Again, we wouldn't have such a big problem if people paid their goddamn taxes. Wow. No,
like that's the thing, and because they do it as a tax write-off, if it ever, like, I think the scenario would have to be that someone buys. I don't even know what happens to this file. I think in theory it's deleted, but I hope it still exists somewhere. But like, because it can't, in order to be a tax write-off, it has to be a loss. It can't be released for money or anything like that.
That's crazy that they can do that. The way rich people get around taxes. You know what? I'm not even going down that road right now. I don't need.
Meanwhile, I still have to figure out. I like my cities. They pay for things that I like my trash, like my sewer stuff. Like I had a sewer problem. They came for free. They staked it. It was great. But I have to pay my city taxes where I live, and I have to pay city taxes where I work. Fine. Is it one government bureaucracy? No, it's 2 different ones. So I have to pay money to 2 different, not locations, places. Because in Ohio, we have 2 different income tax collections for cities. We have Rita and then like Cleveland something. And I'm just like, why is this so hard? And it's just like,
that's where so dumb. Where are they? Where are the hackers doing the good work? Like, how impenetrable is the student loan database that nobody has hacked that yet? Every other month, I get a letter from something about something being hacked. And why never the student loan database? What is going on? I'm convinced the hackers are in the government because ain't no way no one has.
Oh yeah, because someone definitely leaked my email because I got a phishing email today, and I like never get phishing emails on my personal email. So
I would love to get it. How can I film a project? If I don't put out a YouTube video, is that a tax write-off? Because I got plenty of those.
I think, for example, if you put money into a vlog project, like the flight to the vlog and all that stuff, and you said, this is the money I put into it, but I'm not going to, put it out there, and it would have made me X money, I think it does count to some extent as partial write-off.
The hackers are bunch of that makes because that or like I just. I'm like, I just got one from Ticketmaster. I got one from AT&T. It happened with T-Mobile. It's happened with Target. It's happened with Chase Bank. It happened with the state of South Carolina. Okay, every corner. It's never the damn student loan. I mean, at this point, it's just I have a credit freeze. I have alerts. I'm like, I'm doing all I can because there's no safety. There's nothing you can do. Everything keeps getting damn hacked.
Yeah, I just make sure that like my one big thing is my email, so I changed my password on it recently. But it's always been its own unique password because like that's if I lose access to that email, I'm fucked.
Oh, don't say that. I
Well, it's true. It's like that's the one that everything uses to rechange passwords, right? That's the
Yeah. Oh man. Oh my gosh, we've been here for 4 hours almost.
I was gonna say I love you, but can we be done yet?
No, just kidding. I was
Okay.
about to say that. It would be so easy, and yet don't. Well, at least I finished my book.
Yes, you did.
Yes. Yay. So thank you all for joining us.
I did read nonfiction the entire time we read, so I did my part.
Look at that. Look at that. We may have only sprinted 2 times, but it was more than 0. Thank you. Okay, good night.
Good night.
I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Goodbye.